what was his name again?
No, I don't pay attention to that shit, so I wouldn't know.
Anyway, he's a philosopher. He says it's not incest if you wear a condom. How do you feel about that?
No. There's still the psychological factor to it. It's still incest. Like, no, that's not true.
What do you mean?
That's
come home drunk one night. Your brother's there. You know. They're saying that's wrong.
Why would you go home to your brother when you could just pick some dude up in a bar, though? That's the thing. It's like, if you're just looking for, like, a hard cock, it's like, why go to your brother? Gross. But anyway.
But no, harm is done. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm saying it's, like, really hard because of the social norms, and
no one's around. No one's gonna see it. Plus, you don't believe in God.
You're conditioned from You're conditioned from the point of being a youth.
No one's gonna judge you.
To feel shame about it, right? And so even if you do it, even if everything's around, you're still going to have that internalized shame from it, and that's what your mom looks like why you're so fat.
They're actually kind of good looking.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to assuage
she looks like
you're trying to assuage your own personal shame about, being sexually attracted to your family members. Like,
I'm not ashamed of it. I just want to know, according to you, when is it appropriate?
Like I just said, like no harm in
what kind of society? Well, then that could be any time.
Situationally, I mean, it would have.
Oh my God!
I think this is something right now.
Is this what we're talking about right now?
Yeah. Or saying that she has a problem with incest. There's a problem with incest.
Yeah, because it's almost impossible to have it to do it without some sort of psychological trauma. Regardless of how nonchalant you act about it on the surface.
What if you don't remember?
My God, I can't believe what you're.
Did it really happen if you don't remember?
Well, we're gonna.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying.
God Lee's room, and this is what we're doing, bro.
That's what I mean. So, like,
I'm not like one of those like new atheist like argument philosophy bros. No.
Cora, are you a pog?
Really?
Dude.
I know what pog means. I get called pog all the time.
I don't know what that means.
I just told you what it means. It means fat ass white girl.
PHAT.
Come on, let's
be PHAT. Look at this the rosy cheeks of this little snake.
It's Cora. She makes me sick. This conversation makes me sick.
Oh, stop the voice, John.
What do you call your show? The Aristocrats.
What are you using it for? Because I gotta cut a couple into this.
You talking like the Aristocrats, like the fucking vaudeville?
The comedy joke, the comedian's comedy joke. What are you?
The Aristocrats.
I think it's pretty well accepted in the comedy world that the most epic rendition of the Aristocrats was done by Bob Saget. Just saying.
Yeah, I've seen him. I saw him do stand-up in a casino, and he was very funny, very dirty. But it was really just his fame. That show, in San Francisco. What was it called with the family? Full House. Full House. Da-da-da-da-da-da. See, the sitcom is a special thing because it centers on the house, and you sit on the couch. And I've been casting myself in sitcoms on Cora. It's kind of interesting, Cora, that Sora and Suno are two really powerful. Hello? David. Welcome, David.
So, Saxon, when is it appropriate for us to say incest? Is it ever appropriate?
Mood, you motherfucker. You son of a bitch.
It's not.
planting a bomb in Annapolis.
Since
The first generation doesn't get messed up.
So do you promote it then?
What?
Are you promoting it?
No, I'm not promoting it, but like if Cora was my sister, I mean, or you and my sister.
You son of a bitch. Planting a bomb in Nablus.
Man.
Ow!
You motherfucker mood, you son of a bitch terrorist. Muslims do incest. Like, that's a generalized statement. It's not, do you have any evidence, and why is it so generalized?
What do you mean? What's general about incest?
You're saying that
What's
Muslims,
general about incest?
you're saying that, well, where in the Quran or the Hadiths does it legitimize incest within Muslim communities? And is there incest within Jewish communities and Christian communities?
There is.
Well, which communities in the Mormon faith, like where do we see it most? Is it within probably, like a Muslim? I mean, is it because they're closed communities that they don't bring in other? Anyways, I'm just saying that to me the conversation's ridiculous, but
It's permissible though. It's permissible to marry your cousin in Islam, but majority of the time they just like to keep it within their own tribe, like mainly. It's like a tribal thing. Even though it's permissible, the Quran does advise them not to do that. To go outside their own tribe.
Cora, what do you think about this topic? Because I don't think, this is my criticism of Andrew R. and these supposed Christian rooms, is they don't really stay on topic. They don't provide any real education related to the topic of God or Jesus or, the Bible history, etc. Like Megatron, at least, he keeps the politics out of the room. And to me, the trans issue is a political issue, not a spiritual issue, not an intellectual issue. It's purely political. Do you agree with that, Cora?
Your guys' problem, but I think allowing kids to be themselves at a younger age, because I don't believe in this whole body dysmorphia shit. I think this was just started so that the military could give, people in the military, estrogen, so they could find it easier to kind of loophole so they could get the medicine they want to better their lives. So I don't really think it's a real thing. I think it's bullshit. It's a made-up term.
So what would be like the top 10 list of made-up terms? I mean, CRT, BLM, LGBTQ, DEI, trans. I mean, to me, these are all. I've told John Lee on his show, why don't you just read the Bible? I know you're walking around and roaming, but to me, you seems to have subject matter expertise with regards to trans and to incest and to abuse and to rape and abortion. So Cora is, all or nothing on certain topics. But Megatron, do you think?
Yeah, I worked in a women's center when I was in college. So yeah.
Well, I asked you earlier, Cora, a question, and you basically said, incest, rape, and abuse. Those are the three things in society that.
Pedophilia.
And pedophilia, yeah. Like, anyways, what was my question? What was the original question I asked you? What in society are you opposed to? Society today, do you just relish in and love?
I don't know. Like I said, things to me are situational.
Sure, that's the same for everybody, right?
Yeah, but I recognize that it's situational. Most people don't.
You really think that most people, whether they accept it or not, can't exhibit and know that
I
they're.
think when they're talking about their morality, they don't acknowledge that it's situational. They talk in absolutes.
Didn't you just give us absolutes? Like 3 examples of absolutes? I mean, they're pretty absolute. Incest, rape, pedophilia, and abuse. Those are absolutes. And do you think there should be federal laws on those 4 absolutes?
Well, they are, let me put it this way, they are situationally almost universally inappropriate. Therefore, that you can treat them like absolutes.
You can treat them like absolutes, and they're situationally extreme. And so therefore, there should be standards of legislation with regards to laws.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, but I'm not going to talk about, like, a lot of the stuff that people try to legislate is situationally ambiguous. 99.
Where does this? I was talking about incest. What happened?
Well, we're getting back to the law, which, I think ultimately and such a huge waste of time. So I'm trying to because, I don't get to talk to Cora that often, and she's so opinionated.
We didn't have legal system until pretty much you had tribes, or I would say until you had agricultural civilizations.
Well, there's natural law even in tribal functions, meaning that if somebody commits a crime within a tribe.
That's a shoehorn fallacy. That's a shoehorn fallacy, John. It's not an actual legal system.
I know, but there's still a herd.
It's situational analysis by people that are respected, as wise people.
No, I'm
But
saying.
it's not like a codified legal system. That's why it's a shoehorn fallacy. Is we're trying to fit. Natural law comes from Enlightenment era philosophers trying to shoehorn or understand how humans existed before their idea of what the ideal society was.
No, Cora.
And they literally interpret it through their own.
Cora, you don't know history well enough, because I've read many Roman history books, and this all predates, Western
That's
Enlightenment.
post-agricultural.
I know, but then you jump to the Enlightenment being the basis of our law. But what I'm trying to tell you, Cora, is naturally within a herd there is a law, and that law is strength. And at this very moment, Cora, you are giving up your strength. And, so energy preservation is a very important topic.
She's just going to call you? I'm supposed to call him.
Sometimes I like to tell people to take the deepest breath of the day and hold it for 10 seconds.
We can't leave without you from this. We can't leave without you.
Did you make blueberry pancakes this morning, Bert?
I just closed that because I hate when it's open because people are constantly looking at it.
Cora, do you think you're part of a tribe?
Just get started.
Cora, do you think you're part of a tribe?
What's that?
Not me in particular, but I do think people have sort of tribal
you're not coming?
things, particularly
It'd be nice.
identity politics and stuff.
So what is it about you that you wish people knew, but they fail to understand?
I gotta make you a key to that.
I don't have something that's immutable, unchangeable.
So can you give me an example of?
That's present from, the initial sort of present from the initial events of my consciousness,
Yeah.
I don't know how to
finish what I was doing. He says, "Get the fucking car."
So, with regards to
I
consciousness
don't know where he was.
and situations,
I never know where
do
he
you
was.
think you could force yourself into a different situation if you wanted to? I mean, primarily for money, you would, not to saying that you're greedy or anything, but
What are you talking, sex work or something? What?
no, basically trying to psyop yourself. If you could brainwash yourself for money, but
Yeah, I did that as a child all the time. For other people.
How?
I convinced myself that I was a good Christian because I had to survive. I behaved in that manner. I took on that role and identity.
But how did you do that though?
It's called masking. I'm autistic. I do it almost like reflexively. I'm an autistic female.
But do you think so? You violated your own free will to do that, is what you're saying?
Well, the first that are unpleasant in order to reduce suffering, is that really against my free will? No.
Well, what I'm saying is you view that masking as being unnatural.
Myself, yeah.
So, but you did it in order to placate, so you wouldn't have to suffer abuse.
Exactly.
So, would you call that intelligence?
Yeah, it's extremely intelligent. It's situational awareness. It's the ability to weigh cost benefit at an early age.
Is that like a chameleon type of trait, like a reptilian trait, like the reptilian mind?
I mean, I think the limbic system is definitely involved, but I don't.
What
I don't
about
know if I call it like wholly reptilian. No.
The sympathetic nervous system?
It's you're constantly like trying to balance the tension between your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system.
Mm-hmm. And the other party, your abusive parents, are also trying to balance their, parasympathetic and lymphatic and sympathetic nervous systems to your balance. So in the end, what you're saying is your deceptive, acceptance of Christianity gave a balancing effect to an otherwise abusive situation. So the communication of peace within the Bible brought that equilibrium, right?
No, my own situational awareness did.
What about the other opposing party's situational awareness to your situational awareness?
They're not very aware. They're covert narcissists, so they're completely self-absorbed. They don't really pay attention to other people's. They lack empathy. So.
Do you think in your own life you've also adopted your parents', covert narcissism?
No, it's quite the opposite.
You're the opposite of a covert narcissist? What's that?
I'm highly empathic.
Oh, you're an empath.
I'm a people pleaser. I self-sacrifice in order to
put those waves away on your own, right?
in order to improve other people's lives, constantly. I always put other people before myself. It's because I was conditioned to be that way by covert narcissists. I was always conditioned to put their needs before mine. So.
Do you, I often ask people here, what's your most painful memory? Do you think you could answer that?
Yeah, I was being forced to suck my babysitter's son's cock and having him ejaculate in my mouth.
Jesus. Sorry to hear that. Is that really your most painful memory?
Yeah, horror show.
Yikes.
But I've had a lot of EMDR, and so I can talk about it really matter-of-factly without getting triggered.
Did you have to spit or swallow? Or did you have to spit or swallow?
I went and threw up in the sink in the bathroom across the hall.
Wow.
Okay.
So
I was 7 years old.
Well, the only reason
You didn't say that.
I guess
you didn't
what
say
I'm
that before.
I guess what I'm asking, or not even asking, but do you think books can be therapeutic?
I like reading the book. I won't write the Bible up wholesale. I love the book of Amos.
Because do you think the Hegelian dialectic can, basically reprogram and create new, traits within your personality for therapeutic purposes?
Yeah.
Which is really just reading.
I think it works for some people. It didn't work for me very well because all my trauma I generally somaticize, which is why I went to EMDR, which is more, it's a more sort of unconscious bilateral stimulation process where you basically try to have bad emotions and then you stare at a dog moving back and forth, and the bilateral stimulation helps you reprocess and sort of compartmentalize the things so that they're not so triggering. It's almost like hypnotizing yourself, which I'm sure you enjoy. Yeah, I mean, obviously it works for some people, but there's also, what is it, acceptance and something therapy as well, where you just fucking accept it, right? You learn to accept it. When you don't do this dialectical thing where you counter it. It just depends on the person and what their nervous system responds to. Because that's the thing is like with mental health, it's like people try to compartmentalize it into like all sort of like your brain and the way you think and whatever, but so much of it is like somatic sort of response to things. And if you
What about TM, like transcendental meditation, just mantra recitation?
I think that works for some people. I mean, I don't know. It depends. Again, you know, it's I think it's a method of like regulating. So yeah, it could probably work. People don't recognize that what they're doing. That they're doing is regulating their nervous systems.
Well, sorry to hear about the abuse you suffered. I've never.
What kinks have you developed since the abuse, or?
I don't really have any kinks. I did
Megatron for the
basically
winning
try
question.
to take control of my own sort of sexual health and identity in my 20s, and was very open and exploratory intentionally. Nothing really stuck. You know, I'm just generally an open-minded person, and if it feels good, I do it. That's all.
So you know a lot about like witchcraft and the occult. Like, what in esoteric philosophy or science has been most surprising or pleasing to you?
I'm eating right now, but I'll have to think.
So in the military, when they speak about getting assaulted, other soldiers, part of the training.
Yeah, women are conditioned to do that from like youth.
Well, it's almost protocol.
Yeah, so if we're teaching physically conditioned men that same strategy, imagine what we're teaching women who just lack, like through sexual dimorphism, lack the upper body strength to fight back, period. Regardless of how fit they are, in comparison to probably 80% of the male population.
I think the chances are higher of you actually killing him when he's done.
But I'm going to be damn sure that whatever I do incapacitates him so I can, flee.
Well, that's what I mean. It would have to be, you waiting for the right moment.
Exactly.
Because you only have one chance.
Yeah, women, if they do fight back, it has to be, extreme and violent. Because you have to absolutely incapacitate the man. If you just wound them in a way that they're still functional, that just escalates the amount of harm that's going to come to you.
Yeah. Who's this guy in the audience? What's up, Tim?
Hey, what's up, Greg?
What are you doing, Tim?
Just out taking the dogs for a walk.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. está dando dinero. No, no estoy usando cash. Yeah, anyways. Well, yeah, exactly. Yep.
Just find the dip on Bitcoin.
I don't know.
I was thinking about
You gotta have the money to buy the dip.
dip, maybe dip.
Yeah, I dropped the chunk of my tax return into it.
Mm.
That's interesting.
So
I
Cora,
don't know you into that kind of stuff.
Cora, back to the trans issue. You know, I went to a Jewish.
There is no trans issue.
Well, I went to a Jewish synagogue one time, and they have these women that present as men. You know, they look like little boys. And the girl that I was dating at the time, who had the most amazing ass, said to me, you know, it's very rare for women to present as men, but it's very common for men to present as women. And I think it's because it's a lot easier for a man to present as a woman as opposed for a woman to present as a man, because
Even in modern, trans medicine, it's a lot harder and more dangerous for female to male transition, simply because our bodies aren't meant to accommodate male-sized sort of vocal cords. You get vaginal atrophy from taking testosterone, which can cause all sorts of other problems. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do female to male transition than male to female transition than female to male. There's a lot more risk involved. So.
It's interesting. Tim, I'm going to ask you a difficult question.
Okay,
Since you're an atheist, I think it wouldn't be for incest to be the case. You have any scenario.
I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head that are would make it appropriate. I can't. I'm sure if I thought about it, maybe if you're down to the last two people on Earth and you're afraid that you're gonna have some type of, if you all die, there's gonna be no way to keep. If your goal is to keep the population on the Earth or to keep your family going, I suppose at that point you may think about something like that. But I just don't really think in general that it's a good idea.
Yeah, I would point to the same situation.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say last two people on Earth. It's more. I mean, if you're the last two people on Earth, the human race is doomed anyway. You've got founder sex problems. There's no way that two people could populate here. Yeah.
Off the top of my head, think about it.
Yeah, a small population, you're going to end up with, you can't, statistically, there's no way to avoid, you'll end up with some sort of founder's effect. There's, at some point you'll get back to a certain level of genetic diversity. But I'm thinking more of if you watch some sci-fi where they have a limited number of people on a intergalactic
ship or something,
interstellar ship where they're trying to organize biologically who gets to breed with who and marry who, and so in order to minimize, but it's almost impossible to.
Yeah, but then at that point, it seems like you're just it's because you have different goals at that point, right? The goal is we're trying to stop extinction, so we're compromising the idea of a short-term temporary problem.
Yeah, trying to persist
breed ourselves out of that.
Long enough to get to a colonizing planet.
Yeah. It just seems to me from a normative stance, it's not a good idea to have incestuous.
I don't think it's possible to engage in it, no matter how much you feel like it's fine, without some level of trauma.
Yeah, there's been a lot of criticism lately of the I don't know if you would call that. If you're marrying your cousin, is that incestuous? Like in the same way that like there's a father knocking up their daughter. Like I don't
No, like
Yeah.
as far as level of risk, I think it's like the differential is just like 0.0125 chance of like repeating, negative genetic factors. But it's like when you get to like something when you point to like Charles V, right? The famous Habsburg king, who was like more inbred through cousin and niece uncle marriages than brother sister. He was like at a 0.254 when like brother sister.
But if you like does a compound, if you can, doesn't a compound?
Yeah,
like,
that's what it is. A
go
compound.
cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, it compounded to the point that it was worse than a brother and sister. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're saying within the Muslim population. That like the top 5 lowest like have a lot of cousin marriage.
There's a family in Turkey, and I don't know if this has anything to do with cousin marriage. I should look into it. Where like the children have actually reverted to quadrupedalism. Like
Yeah.
Wild.
Well, there's also the rat people, Muslims that look like rats. I think they may be smaller and maybe Pakistani, but there's an even subset of smaller ones that they like literally inbreed themselves, and their faces look like rat faces. You can look it up.
But what if?
Well, what it happens too is it drives their IQ down, right? And then it drives them to the point where they're hovering about 85, 86, 87 IQ.
It was
Yeah, but there's a way.
In Kentucky, they were just too dumb to quit the incest, right? Like,
But wait a second. There's a way to systematically get out of any of this. If there was one main family left, and let's just say this family was of all ages, and it was first cousins and brothers and sisters, and then cousins of, and then second cousins, right?
You run a lot of genetic risk. I mean, you might be able to endure, but there'd be a lot of like problematic sort of like even small things. Like for a long time,
think about this.
For a long time, the people on Catalina Island, right? The people on Catalina Island, when they were more isolated, they actually had a founder's effect. Sort of, it was very benign, but they had an inverse secondary incisor and canine tooth, right?
Okay.
So you could tell if someone was from fucking Catalina if they had that tooth thing go. Absolutely low sort of genetic diseases, right? You still run some level of risk. Like it's going to happen.
All right. There's a systematic way though that you can risk less. You have less risk.
Yeah, you'd have to genetically test everybody.
Can you fucking let me finish a sentence? Cora. Go ahead, Cora.
It was the spaceship scenario I was talking about. You'd have to genetically test everybody.
Okay. So I think there's a way to do it if everyone is a child with every other person. And obviously this would have to be systematically. So if you and I had a child, then you would have to have a child with Tim, and I would have a child with Tim's wife, and then so on and so forth. So that eventually the gene pool will be mixed, not completely fixed on a specific gene, whether if we tested it or not. If we're in situations like this, we're probably not going to have the means to test DNA. Okay, Cora.
That's not all a single family, though.
I'll be back in a bit.
But, bye, Tim.
Hey, Mayton, what am I watching?
Oh my God, it's so good.
Okay, I'll stick with it.
Yeah. What was the name of it again?
Blink Twice.
Blink Twice.
They're all the common kind of setting getting high.
He's got to get in there.
It's getting there.
No.
It's cool.
It's a great movie.
Alright, I'm watching it.
Yeah, keep watching it. You haven't gotten to the good part yet. Wait till you get to the juicy part.
Waiting for the juice.
Yeah, I gotta go take a shower and take care of my scars and stuff. So I might see you later.
Wait, Cora, before you go, Cora, can I read to you one page from this new book I bought?
What is the book?
It's called The Key of the Mysteries.
Can I pay you to read my book on Clubhouse?
Yeah, I will for you, for sure.
I'll let you read it to Joanna because it'll probably land better with her. But I really like it. I smoke. Yeah. I've been chilling with her. So, bye, everyone.
Okay, this is page 83. It says,
And then we're gonna work on reading my book on Clubhouse.
oh, do you want to do it right now? Give me a link.
Okay.
You can text it to me too, to my personal phone, or you can message me on Instagram or other ways. Or maybe here. I very rarely look at these messages on this app. It's all spam. So if you click the YouTube link above, you'll see a YouTube live stream of a Clubhouse room going on right now. It's nothing important, but I'm going to update it to my office. Crazy, I can't update it. All right, well, let me read this page unless you have a link available, Joanna. Okay, this page, it would be the infinite finite, the unknown known, the immeasurable measured, the indicible named. That is to say that dogma could only cease to be absurd in the eyes of reason to become, in the eyes of faith, science. A reason and good sense in one. The most monstrous and the most impossible of all absurdities. Remain the objections of dissent. The Jews, our fathers in religion, reproach us with having attacked the unity of God, with having changed the immutable and eternal law, with adoring the creature instead of the Creator. These heavy reproaches are founded on the perfectly false notion of Christianity. Our God is the God of Moses, unique, immaterial, infinite God, sole object of worship and ever the same. Like the Jews, we believe him to be present everywhere, but as they ought to do, we believe him living, thinking and loving in humanity, and we adore the law of Christians. The law is immutable because it is founded on the eternal principles of nature, but the worship necessitated by the needs of man may change and modify itself, parallel with the changes in men themselves. This signifies that the worship itself is immutable, but modifies itself as language does. Worship is a form of instruction. It is a language. One must translate it when nations no longer understand it. Okay, Joanna, could you have the ability for me to read it? Hello? We have translated and not destroyed the worship of Moses and the prophets. In adoring God in creation, we do not adore the creation itself. In adoring God in Jesus Christ, it is God alone whom we adore, but God united to humanity. In making humanity divine, Christianity has revealed the human divinity. The God of the Jews was inhuman because they did not understand him in his works. We are then more Israelite than the Israelites themselves. When they believe, we believe with them, and better than they do. They accuse us of having separated ourselves from them, And on the contrary, it is they who wish to separate from us. We wait for them, the heart and the arms wide open. We are, as they are, the disciples of Moses. Like them, we come from Egypt, and we detest its slavery, but we have entered into the promised land, and they obstinately abide and die in the desert. Mohammedans are the bastards of Israel, or rather, they are his disinherited brothers like Esau. The belief is illogical, for they admit that Jesus is a great prophet, and they treat Christians as infidels. They recognize the divine inspiration of Moses, yet they do not look enemy of progress and liberty. Nevertheless, do not let us take away from Muhammad the glory of having proclaimed the unity of God among the idolatrous Arabs. There are pure and sublime pages in the Quran. In reading those pages, one may say, with the children of Ishmael, there is no other God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet. There are three thrones in heaven for the three prophets of the nations, but at the end of time, Muhammad will be replaced by Elias. The Muslims do not reproach the Christians, they insult them. They call them infidels and giors, that is to say, dogs. We have nothing to reply to them. One must not refute the Turks and the Arabs. One must instruct and civilize them. Remain dissident Christians, that is to say, those who, having broken the bond of unity, declare themselves strangers to the charity of the Church. Greek Orthodoxy, that twin of the Roman Church, which has not grown greater since its separation, which counts no longer in religion, which since Photius has not inspired a single eloquence, is a church become entirely temporal, whose priesthood is no more than a function regulated by the imperial policy of the Tsar of all the Russias. Curious mummy of the primitive church, still colored and gilded with all its legends and all its rites, which its popes no longer understand, the shadow of a living church, but one which insisted on stopping when that church moved on, and which is now no more than its bloated out and heedless silhouette. Then the Protestants, those eternal regulators of anarchy, who have broken down dogma, and are trying always to fill the void with reasonings like the sieve of the Danaids, these weavers of religious fantasy, all of whose innovations are negative, who have formulated their own use, an unknown calling itself better known, mysteries better explained, a more defined infinite, a more restrained immensity, a more doubting faith, those who have quintessentialized the absurd, divided charity, and taken acts of anarchy for the principles of an entirely possible hierarchy, those men who wish to realize salvation by faith alone, because charity escapes them, and who can no longer realize it, even upon the earth, for the pretended sacraments are no longer anything but allegorical mummeries. They no longer give grace. They no longer make God seen and touched. They are no longer, in a word, the signs of the almighty power of faith, but the compelled. Knew I'd catch you, Buttercup. I caught your vanity. I'm reading a book by Eliphas Levi. It's called The Key of the Mysteries. So, Buttercup, I like reading books. I'm wondering if you would like ever, in your opinion, are so controversial, because to me they're just war chronicles of, people fighting. And you seem to think that they're like secret, but there's no secret when it comes to war. It's like a violent, bloody struggle of survival of people individually competing to kill each other, which is horrible. But there's these like immutable laws of countries and cliques or tribes, and unfortunately, violence and war. Yikes, Buttercup. What are we gonna do? They seem to be consistent and status quo. So, yikes. Sucks, right? But a lot of things suck. She left. Buttercup left us. She wouldn't rise to the occasion. She is what we call a coward. Joanna, do you have it? Or shall I keep reading?
It's in the chat, so it's just the first.
Okay, cool. I updated the room title.
It's on Kindle.
Nina Palma. Oh my God. Wow. Look at this.
It's me. What? It's one of my books. You don't have to read it.
Okay, I'm going to read chapter 2. Mrs. Levi.
No, I like chapter 1 better.
Okay, you want chapter 1? Your choice.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Iris Pace by Nina
Yes.
Palma, the appraiser. Iris woke up early to get to the train on time. Do you have a way to record this actually?
No.
Do you have another cell phone that you can like hit record and record?
Yes. I can do that.
Okay, let me know when you're ready. Because I want you to take this recording and upload it to Audible.
Just that one page?
Yeah, it'll be the sample so people can like preview it.
Okay, hold on.
And if we ever make a sale, I want you to send me $10.
Okay, no problem.
10, not 11, 10, not 9. Rabbona Shalom. But I need you to create like a hard copy file. And we just got the bull rush, so that means the spirit is with us.
Okay, I have another phone. I have another iPhone. Let me go to voice recordings. Let's see the icon.
You can also upload this to Spotify with the Spotify Creators app.
I don't know if this phone has it. I don't see the voice report on here. Let me go down.
This is The Art Appraiser by Nina Palma, read by John Kitover. This is chapter 1, Iris Pace. Iris woke up early to get to the train on time. The job interview was something she'd only dreamed of while at university. She was determined not to be late. Iris tried to keep up with the latest fashion. Today she wore a blue dress with buttons down the front, fitted jacket over it, and her beige bowler hat. She slipped into her new shoes, and looking in the mirror, she felt suitably dressed for the occasion. Iris stepped onto the streets of Berlin, where she always felt a great sense of pride. Berlin was steeped in culture. People came from all over Europe to see performances in the theater, to explore the nightlife and cabarets. Iris got on the train and took the empty seat next to the door. She was not sure what she would be asked on the interview, nor did she know what the position actually required. She adjusted her hat and went through her purse, trying to pass the time. Lately, she'd avoided newspapers, so she left the one next to her unread.
lose it now for Audible.
It's okay.
It's okay. Thank you so much for reading it. Thank you.
Oh, I was going to continue. Do you want me to continue?
Yeah, I would love you to. I'm moved.
Iris got on the train and took. Are you still recording?
Well, how am I gonna upload it with all that noise?
That's okay. People, it's like filming the people filming. People like
Oh,
the reality. You know, it's just, again, it's just a sample. So whoever listens to this, I hope you buy the book because it's starting out great and I can tell it's amazing. So, but continue recording and we'll just finish it.
okay, I'm still recording.
Iris got on the train and took the empty seat next to the door. She was not sure what she would be asked on the interview, nor did she know what the position actually required. She adjusted her hat and went through her purse, trying to pass the time. Lately, she'd avoided newspapers, so she left the one next to her unread. The nearer the train approached her stop, the more anxious she became, though she was well versed in the art world and had an art degree to show for it. As the train neared the station, Iris peered out the window. A few people were stranded on the platform, but one man in particular caught her eye. He wore a gray suit and shiny black shoes. He stood with an air about him, as if in his hand, "Yes, sir, I'm Iris Pace. Pleased to meet you." Nick Himmel, he smiled, tipping his hat to reveal his blonde hair and blue eyes. "We have important matters to discuss regarding your new position. Come, there's a delightful cafe in the corner." He held out his hand for her to walk ahead. "But, sir, I'm here to apply for the position. I have not been interviewed yet." Iris were not as well educated. "Well, thank you," Iris said with confidence. "Say, you'll come with me to get some coffee." They walked 2 blocks to a cafe. They were seated outside at a table with a yellow umbrella. "My father has built quite a business in textiles, and now he has the notion of collecting art. Can you believe a man who worked his way up would want to buy art?" Mr. Himmel mentioned to the waitress. "What would the world be without art?" Iris smiled. "True, a successful man must have purpose. My father now wants to collect art, and he needs someone to appraise the paintings. With your art degree, I'm not trained in appraisal, sir. Renaissance, Impression, Abstract, and I hear you have studied Romanian and Italian artwork as well." Mr. Himmel certainly knew her educational background. "Well, yes, Iris tried to explain. "Well, that will do just fine. I'm sure the university familiarized you with all the well-known artists, as well as some up-and-coming ones," Mr. Himmel continued. "But to locate certain pieces of interest, and well, whatever you come across that you are fond of." He took a small sip from his cup. "Of course," Iris managed to say. Iris agreed. They spent about an hour in the cafe. Mr. Himmel spoke about his business and mostly listened. They went back to the train station. Iris was glad her train was waiting. She was wary of this man she had just met and wondered if she had made a mistake by coming. She decided to talk with her father about it, but then thought too much about her. Perhaps he inquired about her from one of her teachers, and it was no cause for concern. Iris decided to put her mind at ease and tell her parents the good news.
Thank you so much. She will be working for the SS, and it gets really good to those who want to give it a chance. She will find out she is working for the Nazis, and that was beautifully read. I'm forever grateful.
Okay, that's by Nina Palma, The Art Appraiser, Chapter 1, Iris Pace. So I'm also putting this on in a Clubhouse room, so I'll send you the link to that as well.
Okay. I'm honored that you read that. I know it sounds a little funny, but it gets better.
I'm also going to put it on X.
Wow.
Do you have an X account?
No, not anymore.
Well, if you get one, you can share the link that I'm putting up. Because you can create a room here on Clown House and then post that room to X and use hashtags and title it.
Really, thank you again. I'm getting a lot of money from this book, and I'm shocked that people are reading books about the war.
Well, it's your keyword. You're ranking for the word the art appraiser. So people are finding it because they're looking for, the art appraiser.
I'll be right back.
Job interview, takes the train and gets offered the position on the spot.
That you just put your little, daughter in, and he wants to go in there and do his makeup or something. And then when you accuse him of being a man, he wants to put on a show and say, "Oh, first of all, my name is, Janet, and my pronoun is she and her, and I have the right to use this bathroom." Like, don't you think he's still putting on a performance, and therefore it's ridiculous? And you should be like, "Sir, you got to get out of the bathroom. You can't be in this bathroom, sir."
Depends on the person.
Does it really depend on the person, or shouldn't we have a level of standardization?
Some people that obviously do it because they're like narcissistic and have some sort of like histrionic personality disorder, and it feeds into that. It gets them the attention that they're seeking, right?
Okay.
But I'm also
This has been The Art Appraiser by Nina Palma. We just read chapter 1, Iris Pace, a young girl who is going to a job interview, takes the train and gets offered the position on the spot. This has been The Art Appraiser by Nina Palma. We just read chapter 1, Iris Pace. So that's on my YouTube account called Reading Books ASMR.
Thank you.
I'm a publicist, Joanna.
I know.
I'm a marketer.
Okay, if I get book sales this month, I'll come give you a slice.
Yeah, give me a piece of pizza.
I will. I'm a woman of my word. Yep. She's working for the Nazis.
She's working to the limit. Okay, we're gonna change the room title. To prove to me your God and prophet are real. Okay, invite people to the room. I've updated the title and the link. Joanna, check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. I'm wearing a new country western hat that I got on eBay. It's a giant white cowboy hat. It is a Scala western style hat. It's pretty dope. It's extra large. It's like painted or something. They put glaze on it or something to make it hard. I know you love, what's big and hard. Dum-bum. We're also going to modify the powerful Dennis James and make him a mod. Powerful green bee. Invite people to the room so they too can experience the power.
Yes.
Bull rush.
Hello, Nila. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, now is a good time to invite people to the room. Click at the top, hit the share button, invite people to the room. Take your little finger and click, 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 click.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة
because war is breaking out all across Iran at the present moment. A massive news break. The war with Iran.
About this country. It tells you everything about how these motherfuckers really do.
So is this a partisan issue where like Democrats are saying, oh, the Republicans are responsible?
Both sides are involved.
Okay,
Democrats
gotcha.
and Republicans. Yeah, this ain't a partisan thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they both involved.
mentioned a lot of laws regarding kids. I forgot which country it is. I was reading an article like a year ago where they made child pornography legal. Like you can legally have it and not get arrested. Then that thing that's going on in Florida where then with the age of I forget what it is.
Listen, man, take this room title out your mouth because the Epstein files are not more important than Black History Month. Jesse Jackson just died for praising the Lord. Put Jesse Jackson in the Capitol building. Let Jesse Jackson have a state proper burial. Please, praise Lord Jesus. Jesse Jackson, please, Lord, stop muting me, Lord Jesus. Jesus, Jesse Jackson died for your sins. Jesse Jackson died for your sins. Bury Jesse Jackson with some honors.
Oh, never mind. I had to realize it afterwards. Yeah, that's a troll.
But you know what blew me that I really had to educate myself on? The adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome.
It wasn't just about the molestation. It wasn't about raping. It wasn't just about murdering. Whatever is released into our blood when our adrenaline is flowing, the wealthy white people thinks that keeps them youth. They inject that into themselves. They put it on their skin, all these different things. So all the videos that you see with them kids screaming and they're putting like tubs under them, they were like breeding babies with no birth certificates, because when you have kids with no birth certificates, obviously it's easy to get rid of, but they're breeding babies and just having them and raising them to be whatever ages and then like torturing them so that the adrenaline would enter their blood. Please just look this shit up. It's called adrenochrome.
Hello?
It is then against faith itself that the Reformation protested. Protestants were right only in their protest against the inconsiderate and persecuting zeal which wished to force consciences. They claimed the right to doubt, the right to have less religion than others, or even to have none at all. They have shed their blood for that said privilege. They conquered it. They possess it. But they will not take away from us that of pitying them and loving them. When the need to believe again takes them, when their heart revolts against the tyranny of a falsified reason, when they become tired of the empty abstractions of their arbitrary dogma, of the vague observances of their ineffective worship, when the communion with the real presence, the churches without divinity, and the morality without grace, finally frighten them, come to throw themselves at the feet of the successor of Peter, saying, Father, we have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and we are no more worthy to be called thy sons, but count us among the humblest of thy servants. We will not speak of the criticism of Voltaire. Their great mind was dominated by an ardent love of truth and justice, but he lacked the rectitude spirit of charity did not reveal itself to that soul which had no tenderness, and he bitterly criticized the hearth of which he did not feel the warmth, the lamp of which he did not see the light. If religion were such as he saw it, he would have been 1,000 times right to attack it, and one would be obliged to fall on one's knees before the heroism of his courage. Voltaire would be the messiah of good sense, the Hercules destructor of fanaticism. But he laughed too much to understand him, who said, "Happy are they who weep." And the philosophy of laughter will never have anything in common with the religion of tears. Voltaire parodied the Bible, dogma, and worship, and then he mocked and insulted that parody. Only those who recognize religion in Voltaire's parody, can take offense at it. The Voltairians are like the frogs in the fable who leap upon the log and then make fun of royal majesty. They are at liberty to take the log for a king. They are at liberty to make once more that Roman caricature of which Tertullian once made mirth, that which represented the God of the Christians under the figure of a man with an ass's head. Christians will shrug their shoulders when they see this knavery, and pray God for the poor ignorants who imagine that they insult them. The Count Joseph de Maistre, after having in one of his most eloquent paradoxes represented the hangman as a sacred being and permanent incarnation of divine justice upon earth, suggested that one should raise to the old man of Ferney a statue executed by the hangman. There is depth in this thought. Voltaire, in effect, also was in the world a being at the same time providential and fatal, endowed with insensibility for the accomplishment of his terrible functions. He was, in the domain of intelligence, a hangman, an exterminator armed with the justice of God himself. God sent Voltaire. Between the century of Bossuet and that of Napoleon, in order to destroy everything that separates those two geniuses and to unite them in one alone. He was the Samson of the spirit, always ready to shake the columns of the temple. But in order to make him turn in spite of himself the mill of religious progress, Providence made him blind of heart. Article 5, solution of the last problem. To separate religion from superstition and fanaticism, the idea which it represents. It is the form preferred to the thing. The right without reason, faith become insensate through isolating itself. It is in consequence the corpse of religion, the death of life, stupefaction substituted for inspiration. Fanaticism is superstition, be compassionate. Its name comes from the word fanum, which signifies temple. It is the temple put in the place of God. It is the human and temporal interests of the priest substituted for the honor of priesthood. The wretched passion of the man exploiting the faith of the believer. In the fable of the ass loaded with relics, La Fontaine tells us that the animal thought that he was being adored. He did not tell us that certain people indeed thought that they were adoring the animal. These people were the superstitious. If anyone had laughed at their stupidity, he would very likely have been assassinated. For from superstition to fanaticism is only one step. Superstition is religion interpreted by those who intentionally and maliciously confound religion itself with superstition and fanaticism, borrow from stupidity its blind prejudices, and would borrow perhaps in the same way from fanaticism its injustices and angers. inquisitors, or septembrisors. What matter names? The religion of Jesus Christ condemns, and has always condemned assassins. Okay, this is page 91, resume of the first part in the form of a dialogue. Faith, science, reason. Science. You will never make me believe in the existence of God. Faith. You have not the privilege of believing, but you will never prove to me that God does not exist. Science. In order to prove it to you, I must first know what God is. Faith. You will never know it. If you knew it, you could teach it to me. And when I knew it, I should no longer believe it. Science. Do you then believe without knowing what you believe? Faith. Oh, do not let us play with words. It is you who do not know what I believe, and I believe it precisely because you do not know it. Do you pretend to be infinite? Are you not stopped at every step by mystery? Mysteries. And if, when you say, I no longer know, I did not cry. As for me, I begin to believe. Science. But your aspirations and their object are not and cannot be for me anything but hypotheses. Faith. Doubtless. But they are certainties for me, since without these hypotheses, I should be doubtful, even about your certainties. Science. But if you begin where I stop, you begin always too rashly and too soon. My progress bears witness that I am ever advancing. Science. You? Walking? Dreamer of eternity. You have disdained earth too much. Your feet are benumbed. Faith. I make my children carry me. Science. They are blind, carrying the blind. Beware of precipices. Faith. No, my children are by no means blind. On the contrary, they enjoy twofold sight. They see by thine eyes what thou canst show them upon earth, and they contemplate by mine what I show them in heaven. Science. What does reason think of it? Reason. I think, my dear teachers, that you illustrate a touching fable, that of the blind man and the paralytic. Science reproaches faith with not knowing how to walk upon the earth, and faith says that science sees nothing of her aspirations and of eternity in the sky. Instead of quarreling, science and faith ought to unite. Let science carry faith, and let faith console science by teaching her to hope and to love. Science. It is a fine ideal, but utopian. Faith will tell me absurdities. I prefer to walk without her. Faith. What do you call absurdities? Science. I call absurdities propositions contrary to my demonstrations, as for example, that three make one, that a God has become man, that is to say, that the infinite has made itself finite, that the eternal died, that God punished his innocent son for the sin of guilty men. Faith. Say no more about it. As enunciated by you, these propositions are in fact absurdities. Do you know what is the number of God? You who do not know God? Can you reason about the operations of the unknown? Can you understand the mysteries of charity? It must always be absurd for you. For if you understood them, my affirmations would be absorbed by your theorems. I should be you, and you would be me, or to put it better, I should no longer exist, and reason, in the presence of the infinite, would halt, blinded forevermore by your doubts, which are as infinite as space. Science, at least you should never usurp my authority, or give me the lie in my own domains. Faith, I have never done so, and I could never do so. Science, so? You have never believed, for example, that a virgin could become a mother without ceasing to be a virgin. In the physical, natural, positive order of things, in spite of all the laws of nature, you do not affirm that a piece of bread is not only a god, but a real human body with its bones and its veins, its organs, its blood, such, in short, that you make of your children who eat this bread a little race of cannibals. Faith, there is not a single Christian who would not be revolted by what you have just said. That sufficiently proves that they do not understand my teachings in this positive and gross sense. The supernatural which I affirm is above nature, and consequently could never oppose itself to her. The words of faith are understood only by faith. Science has only to repeat them to pervert their proper sense. I employ these words because I have no others. But since you find my remarks absurd, you should conclude from that I give to the same words a meaning which escapes you. When the Savior revealed the dogma of the real presence, did he not say, the flesh profiteth nothing, but my words are spirit and life? I do not give you the mystery of the incarnation for an anatomical phenomenon, nor that of transubstantiation for a chemical manipulation. By what right do you exclaim, absurd? And do not reason about any of the things you know. By what right do you say that I talk unreasonably? Science, I begin to understand you, or rather I see that I shall never understand you. This being so, let us remain separate. I shall never have need of you. Faith, I am less proud, and I recognize that you may be useful to me, perhaps. Perhaps, too, you will be very sad and very desperate without me, and I will not leave you unless reason consents. I'm reading The Key of the Mysteries by Rabbi Eliphas Levi. Reason. Be well, where of doing so, I am necessary to both of you. And I, what should I do without you? In order to be just, I need to know and to believe, but I must never confound what I know with what I believe. To know and occupy itself with that, and leaves it all to science. The object of faith is the unknown. Science may seek it, but not define it. She is then obliged, at least provisionally, to accept the definitions of faith, which it is impossible for her even to criticize. Only, if science renounces faith, she renounces hope and love, whose existence and necessity are as evident for science as for faith. Faith, as a psychological fact, pertains to the realm of science, and science, as the manifestation of the light of God within the human intelligence, pertains to the realm of faith. Science and faith must then admit each other, respect each other mutually, support each other, and bear each other aid in case of need, but without ever encroaching the one upon the other. The means of uniting them is never to confound them, never can there be contradiction between them, for although they use the same words, they do not speak the same language. Faith. Oh, well, Sister Science, what do you say about it? Science, I say that we are separated by a deplorable misunderstanding, and that henceforth we shall be able to walk together. But to which of your different creeds do you wish to attach me? Should I be Jewish, Catholic, Mohammedan, or Protestant? Faith, you will remain science, and you will be universal. Science, that is to say Catholic, if I understand you correctly. But what should I think of the different religions? Faith, but what should I think of the faith? Judge them by their works. Seek true charity. And when you have found her, ask her to which religion she belongs. Science, it is certainly not that of the Inquisition and of the authors of the massacre of Saint Bartholomew. Faith, it is to that of Saint John the Almoner, of Saint Francois de Sales, of Saint Vincent de Paul of Fenelon, and so many more. Isn't it amazing we got to St. Bartholomew and that of St. John? I mean, it's amazing how we're named. Like, you know, there's a reason why I'm called John. And it's not just because of Christianity, because John in Greek means Hermes. And Bartholomew, aka Barth, aka, you know, Megatron. See, Transformers is the perfect metaphor. Let me ask you a question, Cora. Besides talking all the time, do you know how to breathe?
Yeah, I know how to breathe better than most people.
You're a breather.
I would put my tongue up her nostrils. That's what I would do.
I'm a trained breather. Thank you.
You're a fucking mouth breather, or?
No, I breathe through my nose.
Norm is a good man. How dare you tell me not to do that, Cora? Don't you know the chain of succession for green beaning? I green beaned you. Spiritus. Breath. How do you say breath in Hebrew, El Normo? Ruach.
Oh, yes.
What does ruach mean to you, Cora?
Yeah, it's the breath of Sophia.
The breath of Sophia. I once knew a beautiful girl, Greek girl named Sophia. Wow, what a beauty.
I know a beautiful Jewish girl named Sophia. Also a beauty.
It means rose, right?
What?
In, you know, Turkey or whatever, in Istanbul, isn't it called the Mosque of the Sophia? Doesn't it mean like the Rose Mosque or something?
Hagia Sophia.
Hagia Sophia. I was there recently. They took a Constantine.
Busy Byzantine church. Yeah.
They took a Constantine or Constantinople era Orthodox church and turned it into a big mosque. It's right across from the Blue Mosque, which was also a church. They didn't destroy it, though, which they sometimes do. They just hung banners over the pictures of saints and Jesus and Mary. Banners with... What about Torah Megatron?
Talmudic verses, and they fell in love with it.
Family Purity, Nita. Yeah, that was a good day. Yeah, I'm glad you were listening, Megatron.
You know what I love about Clubhouse is when people say check your DMs. If everybody can click the YouTube link above.
Check the DM. Hold on a second.
Can everybody subscribe to my YouTube channel to help support the work of John Kitover? Because I've been reading a lot of books and I try to live my life by what I read, and it's transformative. One of the books I recently read.
Still taking donations?
We are, but we don't need financial donations.
Right now.
Clown Town? What was that, Cora? Did you just?
Well, I know you relish being a clown, but there's like other clown. It's like majority clown.
Well, are you clown phobic? You're clown.
Yeah, there's actually a word for that. Yeah.
It's transphobic, right?
No,
that's not nice. There's actually a name for that if you're scared of clowns. What is that, Norm?
Transphobic.
No.
Hello? I thought this was a transphobic room because Cora said she's clownphobic because right now there's a lot of clowns.
It's coulrophobia. C-O-U.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Norm. Yes.
You're welcome.
Isn't that just
I like to provide solid information.
isn't that just another word for clownphobic?
What's that, Cora?
All you did was Google it. It's not like you're like.
Well, I would go with it as well. I mean, I knew that term existed.
David.
Cora, you're very interested in me. You talk about me a lot. What's the deal with that?
She's having radiation procedure done on her breasts right now.
Put yourself in every conversation. It's kind of hard not to talk about it.
Isn't that
Well, Mike, I don't know about. Well, he has Cora, so
He has one of those medals.
Yeah, I'm a medal winner. I'm an Olympic clubhouse person.
Look at that, Cora. He's got more karma than you. And so does Daniel and Megatron.
I have 1,300 karma, but apparently that's too low. I don't know how much is a good karma.
El Normo's in the top.
I asked certain people and they wouldn't tell me their karma.
Wow.
Their karma, and there was 2,500.
Let's see Daniel's karma.
So
Oh my God.
It's like asking somebody their weight.
Like the first time I went to Bitcoin, I was like, "How many Bitcoin do you have?" And they all yelled at me. So
David, you've got 2P.
You asked them how much Bitcoin they have?
Well, certain people, yeah.
David, I got a question for you. You have 2 PhDs, one in math, etc. And so if we look at El Normo's karma points, which is at 10% or 0.1%, I want to ask you a statistic question. Can you tell us what the word magnitude means, David, relative, to mathematics? Hello? After you define magnitude, I will send you the $150.
Well, with all due respect, I don't trust you enough for you to send.
Why can't I get a straight answer out of you anymore?
I trust Norman enough that he would give me the money, but no respect.
Why can't I get a straight answer out of you anymore?
Anymore? Have you ever been able to? Like, what are you?
No, that's my Michael Corleone impersonation.
Whatever.
Is
8
that
years old. You were that young when you watched.
El Normo? Cora shared a very traumatic story with us today.
To watch that movie at 8 years old.
Dude, I used to watch Falcon Crest all the time with my grandma.
What is Falcon Crest?
El Normo, Cora was being sexually abused as a child and was being forced to suck her babysitter's brother's cock.
You used to say stuff like that.
No, this is part of the room history now because we asked her earlier what her most traumatic. And I just say that I called it the aristocrats. Cora just called it her trauma story because we don't know if it's real or not. But we do know when a man goes into a bathroom at Target, national federal laws with regards to gender bathrooms.
I mean, technically, non-binary people aren't trans. They're just kind of in the middle.
Non-binary trans people are not trans. They're in the middle. What does all that even fucking mean anymore? I don't even understand any of this. Do I care? No, I don't care.
I'm tertiary.
I'm trans. I'm racially trans. I'm a tri-racialist because I'm a Mischling, patrilineal, Jew, a Christian and a Buddhist, Iberian, German, English. I'm like a quadriracialist. Hello?
Have you asked John if he's a real Jewish person? Is he really a Jewish person?
What he's telling you, I believe to be the truth.
Yeah.
So he is a Jewish person.
My dad is Jewish. If that's what you consider to be Jewish.
People in other rooms who say that he's not real.
I'm not a Jew by the law. I'm not a Jew by the law.
He's more Jewish than most of the people I meet on Clubhouse.
Just about everybody. Just about everybody in the world has some level of like Levantine or Arabian Peninsula.
I mean, he's more Jewish than Rabbi.
That doesn't make them a Jew. Right?
He's more Jewish than Randy McDickerson.
That's right. That's right.
I'm just saying, much like it's easy to claim you're
David, both my grandparents are Jewish. My dad is Jewish. My dad remarried a Jew. And I always tell my gorgeous mother, don't you think it's amazing that that dad, married a Jew, that was his destiny? to have a soulmate who is Jewish? Hello? Cora, are you still looking for love in your life?
No, I don't need any more men.
You're not looking for love?
Oh. Well, that explains a lot.
There you go, El Normo. We solved it.
What are you talking about, Norm?
We solved it. We hit the nail on the head.
We're talking about the previous 3 sentences.
We put the camel turd on the camel head.
More women in my life?
No, you seem bitter and angry and irascible.
No, I'm not.
Resentful. Well, you act that way.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, that's your perception of me because.
No, it's not. It's the way you behave.
I know you are, but what am I?
You should think about that.
Just because I don't fawn over you, like.
No, that's
No. Brady and an ancient life.
Listen to your
I
voice
won't
right now.
fawn over you and your fake ass fucking persona.
Oh, they ended the room. Holy shit. Somebody boomed it.
Or that binds people.
Okay, it's all gonna be okay. The truth is the birth and death earth. DC is a watermelon show. Reason, be well aware of doing just. I need to know and to believe, but I must never confound what I know with what I believe. To know is to believe no longer. To believe is not to know as yet. The object of science is the known. Faith does not occupy itself with that and leaves it all to science. The object of faith is the unknown. Science may seek it but not define it. She is then obliged. Oh, actually, we read all this. It is to that of St. John, the almoner of St. Francois de Sales and St. Vincent de Paul and Fenelon and so many more. Subnote, Levi was certainly never the dupe of his boudoir theologian, He accepted him without perusal as the Englishmen accept Shakespeare and Milton. Science. Admit that if religion has produced much good, she has also done much evil. Faith. When one kills in the name of the God who said, "Thou shalt not kill," when one persecutes in the name of him who commands us to forgive our enemies, when one propagates darkness in the name of him who tells us not to hide the light under a bushel, is it just to attribute the crime to the very law which condemns it? Say, if you wish to be just, that in spite of religion, much evil has been done upon earth, but also to how many virtues has it not given birth? How many are the devotions? How many the sacrifices of which we do not know? Have you counted those noble hearts both men and women who renounced all joys to enter the service of all sorrows. Those souls devoted to labor and to prayer, who have strewn the pathways with good deeds, who founded asylums for orphans, and old men, hospitals for the sick, retreats for the repentant. These institutions, as glorious as they are modest, are the real works with which the annals of the Church are filled. Religious wars and the persecution of heretics belong to the politics of savage centuries. The heretics, moreover, were themselves murderers. Have you forgotten the burning of Michael Servetus and the massacre of our priests, renewed still in the name of humanity and reason by the revolutionaries who hated the Inquisition and the massacre of St. Bartholomew? Men are always cruel, it is true, but only when they forget the religion whose watchwords are blessing and pardon. Science, oh faith, pardon me, I respect your hopes and share your desires, but I must find by seeking, and in order to seek I must doubt. Reason, work, then, and seek, O science, but respect the oracles of faith. When your doubt leaves a gap in universal enlightenment, allow faith to fill it. Walk distinguish the one from the other, but leaning the one upon the other, and you will never go astray. Okay, part 2, philosophical mysteries, preliminary considerations.
I kind of like Nifty's messed up beat flavored ice.
Yeah, so I still drink milk simply because of the calcium. But that's why I went on the rabbit hole of this whole cacao thing and ceremonial cacao. So
What is
also? So regular cacao powder, they remove the cocoa and they, goes through a process. So apparently the ceremonial cacao has like most of the bean in it, and so it's like a paste. And I was gonna get some, but I ended up going with Brian Johnson's cacao for now.
Interesting.
They call it undutched chocolate.
The health benefits are related to like antioxidants and flavanols, right? That's like the big.
That's really good for your arteries.
Heart health, right?
Yes, that's why I take it. Yeah. So we'll see, but I'd rather have a cup of hot chocolate than coffee. I love chocolate. But not just any chocolate. I like dark chocolate.
That's interesting. Like, can you just have like a cup of dark chocolate, which is just, I guess, purely fat, but like, I guess, healthy fat,
Yeah, I do, and because I like the bitterness of it, so I don't I don't have a sweet tooth, so I'll usually put like cinnamon in it, and that's enough for me. Like that breaks a bit of the bitterness.
I can do up to a certain threshold. I think I like 80 to 90, but once it gets to 95 and up, then I think it's like a bit too bitter, but
Yeah.
I can eat it.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, I can eat it, and it's like, it's not bad, but it's just not enjoyable either. Like, I don't think it's disgusting or anything.
Yeah.
It's more like medicinal, right?
Yeah.
Fish, like, is it like nasty to you? Like you want to like spit it out or something?
No, I kind of like it, but it's a bit much when it's over 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
We have
gonna be
two halves. We have front
doing
quarters
more
of that end of the
foods.
table, hind quarters
You
of
know,
this end of
I
the
thought they
table.
merged all of those and it was just separate branding. I didn't know Fresh had like its own stores or something.
Briskets,
Yeah, they do.
chuck eye
I've
steaks,
never been to a store or seen one.
back
There's
ribs.
Amazon Fresh stores
Ribeye
that are like
steaks.
their own store.
Yeah, see, Fish, isn't that shocking? I'd never heard of this.
Yeah.
Here.
Ours all
So
comes from
sad.
both.
Yeah, no, not here. What's interesting is their pricing is all, and I'm sure Whole Foods is the same way. I just haven't been to Whole Foods in a while, but all their prices are computerized. So it's probably done through AI. So like you could be at one store, and this happened to me because like
Najes!
I tell you I like the lamb.
Najes, I've been reading.
Girl. Well,
I've been reading all morning and talking with Barth and others. It's all gonna be okay. The truth is the birth and death and earth. El Normo is coming to the room shortly. We're going to discuss the Iranian war and get a bunch of people upset, I'm sure. We don't know how long it's going to take, but they will come. They will come. Here comes El Normo. Welcome. Real raw. Damn, girl. What you working with? You ready for the truth of the earth? Damn, girl, look at that rose butterfly tattoo on that chunk of thick ass. And that thigh. That big, thick, beautiful thigh. Oh, she left us. She left us.
Ribeye steaks. We have some of the 3-bone and 4-bone ribs. We have strip steaks, sirloins, fillets, tri-tip, flank, eye of round, caveman steaks, strips for jerky, Thor's hammer, and a whole bunch of trim. That's the grain-fed beef. On the bison, sort of the same deal. Boneless netted chuck roasts, flat irons, Denvers, briskets, soup bones. We have some chuck eye steaks, ribeyes, back ribs, stew, stir fry, short ribs, tri-tip, flank, eye round, fillet, strip steaks, sirloins, caveman, strips for jerky.
Hello? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
that person was trying to hijack your stage.
Allahu Akbar.
You're still there. I thought someone had moved you.
Allahu Akbar.
Stop it.
Allahu Akbar.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work.
Allahu Akbar.
Hello.
are under now. Let's say it was the.
Type in what?
All, ALL.
What? And then all rooms come up?
No, because look at my room title. All is in the title, and then you'll just see the room. Like, it's just all keyword search.
No, all is not in the title.
Yeah, is all going to be okay?
Oh, is all going to be okay? Oh, I put Issa in there. I guess I went to the house of Issa watermelon being made up, right?
Oh, I see. Okay, let's try to discuss the Iranian war.
So wait a second. So she boomed the room over there?
Yeah, she hates her guts.
I know she's very threatening. It was over nothing.
What she's
Nothing.
is it Israel and the war? Is that what she's upset about?
She doesn't like the fact that I disagree with her on matters of atheism and sociology.
Yeah.
And she makes okay arguments, and I'm pretty insistent. So through force of character and intellectual domination, I mean, I'm not trying to be self-serving here, but I out-argue. She hates anybody disagreeing with her. I think, obviously, she's going through emotional things. You mentioned that she's getting, like, vasectomies, right?
Yeah. She's getting radiation treatment as we were talking to her. I'm like, you're getting it right now as you're in Clubhouse?
Is that possible? How could you? I mean, maybe she's in the. I mean, that's bad news. So she's upset. So she's acting like an upset girl.
Yeah, but
right?
The thing is, frustration. To me, I don't like to feel that way.
What's the frustration that she would cause?
Meaning, like, she, as you heard, she's the kind of person who can't actually have a conversation. She'll just like talk over you in like a manic, neurotic, obnoxious way. So if you want to have an actual conversation with her, the best way to do it is to like just actually let her exhaust herself, and you just have to have enough time and patience to let her just like talk endlessly.
She will do that while she's accusing you of doing that. But again, she's an emotional extremist now. I mean, we've just disagreed over atheism and city planning and claiming to not believe in God, which I don't believe. I don't believe there's such a thing as an atheist. And then she's got weird liberal ideas, and this Israel and Palestine fit into it. She's got. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to bring up the name because I don't need to bring up Lashon Hara.
But you'll do it anyway.
Say again?
But you'll speak Lashon Hara anyway. I do it all the time. So.
Say that again?
But you participate in Lashon Hara. You just won't mention
I just said I don't want to participate in Lashon Hara. We were just having a conversation about somebody that we both know, yeah. So she's emotionally fragile anyway and undergoing these treatments and doesn't like it if somebody disagrees with her, especially if it's a man. It's that old liberal man-hating, oppression-hating, imperialism-hating, patriarchy hating. It's like from whatever, 10 years, politics from 10 years ago. It's sort of silliness. So there's a person who's going through radiation treatment right now, and it's very prickly and angry. It keeps booming rooms. But
I just came into that room and it died like immediately.
Well, I find this as particularly true among women. When they get pissed off, they boom the room.
I thought it was you. Huh?
You thought I boomed the room?
Just kidding.
Oh, I don't boom rooms.
My joke was you can participate in Lashon Hara even if you don't mention a particular name.
Yes, but I was not doing either. You can also not participate in it and not mention it.
It kind of sounded like you were talking about someone, but whatever.
No, we were talking about an experience that we both had. We just had come from an experience.
Yeah.
I see.
Torah is always like that. They say it's prickly goos and gooey prickles, and it's like there's
What
like
does that mean?
meaning that like some what the difference is between a BMW and a porcupine?
What?
About $40,000.
No, with a BMW the pricks are on the inside.
Did you ever listen to Click and Clap, the Tappet Brothers? What was the name of that NPR show?
Click and Clap. That was the name,
What was
wasn't
the
it?
name of that? That was their name.
I Oh, I thought that was the name of the show. They just
So they had a car
people called in.
show on
Yeah.
NPR. It's kind of funny. They were like these Italian brothers from the Boston area with thick accent. Anyway, they were always insulting at BMW drivers. They hated BMW drivers. Kind of funny. Car Talk. That's the name of it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was on WBUR. I used to, that's the NPR station, or was, I don't think it's there, 93.9. I used to listen to it, 92.9, something like that. I used to listen to it driving back and forth to Massachusetts. And
It was a nationwide
full programming that then they syndicated it to NPR.
Anyway, they hated it. They hated BMW drivers.
Huh.
I'm not sure why.
Maybe they were just annoying when they brought their cars into their shop.
Who was annoying?
The drivers. You didn't
I
fix it
see.
right. Yeah, like, I've got this little sound in this thing. It's like, yeah, well, don't close the door so hard, you know. Oh my God. Oh. What's doing?
That's a funny thing that Joe has there, Free America from Israel. That's funny.
Free America from Israel. I don't even know what does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
You're like,
It's like there's a Muslim terror organization for every letter of the alphabet. A for Al Qaeda and Al Shabaab. B for Boko Haram. Somebody has to come up with a C. I think I once had one. D for Daesh. You get to H, you got a whole lot of them. I like H, the Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah.
right.
And then, but somehow Israel is the problem. The one parliamentary democracy in the region. It's like a bizarro world.
So you can see all the documentation for many of the terrorist groups that you mentioned, that do their things here and there. But this group that's controlling America, I haven't seen any documented evidence that they say jump and the U.S. Congress or president says, how high, mister? This doesn't exist.
Say it again.
I said the data just doesn't exist.
It's not really bugging you as an patriot American that we've been controlled by a foreign agent.
I would love to see some data.
Controlled by what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
my point.
Israel, like
Israel is a country, yes.
Yeah,
There are 177 countries in the world. Most of them have.
There's more than that.
Most of them have lobbying groups in the United States.
Not like Congress. Nope. Show me one.
Yes.
Show me one congressman. Like one congressman.
Yeah.
From a foreign agent.
Was there one congressman who's a foreign agent?
Which lobbying group are you referring to?
There is no congressman who's a foreign agent.
It's like Israel lobby.
Which Israel? Let's be clear. Which Israel lobbying group are you referring to?
Finish my sentence.
He said, name me one congressman.
No. Give me one name, one foreign lobby.
He said, name me one congressman who's a foreign agent. There are none. Zero.
They'd have to register first as a foreign agent. So there's none registered as foreign agents. So
No congressman who's a foreign agent. So what is your point?
okay, because you have to register as foreign agents.
Why you talk? Like, can you give me a one name? One name.
We can't. There's no one. There
There's no
isn't.
congressman who's a foreign agent.
There's no senator.
Give me his name.
There isn't. That's the point. We
Give him a name. He wants a name. Give him a name.
You're making stuff up that we can't.
Joe Schmo.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So you have no point, correct?
Right. He wants something that we can't give him.
No, I don't think he wants something. I think he just speak English.
It's yeah.
This oh my God, this is very weak defense.
No, let him speak. But
There's no
what was the lobbying group that you were referring to? You said a foreign lobbying group. Which lobbying?
No. I'm talking about ABAC.
APAC is an American lobbying group from American dollars. Look, I suggest you go to the Federal Election Committee, the FEC. They have a database where you can look at every single campaign dollars and the addresses from Americans, because they're only allowed to take money from Americans, okay? And you will see they're only Americans giving some places $36, someplace $2,000, someplace $1,500, someplace less. You'll see it's a list of just Americans. It's not like, Yeshua ben so-and-so from Israel. No, those names don't exist because it's an American lobbying group.
But if Yeshua so-and-so from Brooklyn wants to give money, he's allowed to.
Sure, because he's an American.
Exactly. It doesn't mean there's like some grand conspiracy. Just because an American wants to give money to an American, there's nothing wrong with that.
Israel is not even.
And guess what? Like the chemical industry,
Israel is not. Hang on a second. Israel is not even in the top 10 donors.
Yeah, there's so many. The chemical industry, big pharma.
Yeah, it's like Joe DuPont giving money to the American government. How come you don't talk about him?
Yeah. There's I think they gave a total of 390 million or 470, some insignificant amount compared to all of the other farm.
You're wrong.
You don't think. So you think he's a pedophile, right?
He's a horrible, disgusting, twisted, manipulative criminal.
The only thing maybe anybody could say is he needs due process rights. That's about it. Right?
Well, he's dead. He doesn't get due process.
Well, he
already lost his due process the first time.
Yeah, exactly. But
okay, guys, don't call me anti-Semitic and that bullshit. Okay, can I ask a question?
You're on the trajectory to be anti-Semitic.
Anyway, why most of the pedophile are Jews? Like, what's the secret?
Whoa.
Okay, hold on. Stop. Show me statistical data that shows per 10,000 population or per 1,000 population, pedophiles have a higher incident rates of pedophilia than non-Jewish pedophiles. Show me that data, and then we can have a discussion. But guess what, Bob? It doesn't exist.
In Iraq, the age to marry is 9 years old. So it's pedophilia when it's legal. If it's not against the law to marry a 9-year-old, can you really call it pedophilia? It's their culture. And I think it's wrong of you to judge their culture by our standards. If it's normal for a Muslim to marry a 9-year-old, it's wrong of you to judge them.
Didn't, with all due respect, Randy, didn't he marry a 6-year-old?
Listen, you're using Western values to judge people, okay? And that's wrong.
Even amongst good point, Randy, but even amongst Western countries, Joe, show me the data, because you made this point that why are all pedophiles, what was your claim? Why are all pedophiles Jewish?
He doesn't know. He doesn't consider
no
Muslims
data
to be pedophiles.
with which to have, forget the Muslim versus forget the non-Jews. When you have that data, come back and let's have a
Someone sent
conversation.
me a back channel asking about all the priests that fooled around with boys. And again, I don't think it's fair to judge priests by Jewish standards. That's their culture, and the point is we have to take each culture on its own, and not
He's almost a teenager, Mark.
well as a teenager.
The difference becomes
So Norm,
reporting these kind of crimes. Like some people say, oh, why is the infant mortality rate greater in Israel and in surrounding Arab countries? Why is it so high? Yeah, it isn't because the reporting standards in the surrounding countries are so poor that is based on how you report.
Talking about the age of
I understand. You just brought up something that's based on reporting. So if the rape, anything that requires
reporting, rape, as far as I know.
Of course, but anything that requires validation of data to say something happened.
About the law, not data.
That's right. That's true.
I can't explain it a fourth time.
Why did they lower the marriage age to 9 in Iraq. Does that make them a nation of pedophiles? That was
No. Well, again, you're using American standards. A 9-year-old. First of all, Iraqi 9-year-old girls are very mature. Okay, much more mature than Americans.
I wouldn't say that, no, Randy.
No.
What in the New York Post that in Afghanistan they're starting to pass a law that men are allowed to be the women again.
It doesn't matter, right?
Dude,
Wait,
I don't even know what does that word mean.
That's not nice.
Don't worry, Randy. You'll find out. You'll find out,
Yeah,
Randy.
why? When I go to Iraq and Israel or a Palestinian, how could it be apartheid when a quarter of the doctors are Palestinian? You know how many doctors there are in Iran, Jewish doctors there are in Iran and the whole Arab world? Under 10. Okay? So who's the apartheid country? You tell me.
Well, the ones that consider non-Muslims dhimmis or second class. The ones that expelled all the Jews and committed ethnic cleansing. The ones that ethnic
what about the ones that say convert or die? Those?
Yeah, so that's how, that's the whole Middle East. But you know what I said to my Palestinian doctor?
What?
I said, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Damn.
No pill gonna cure my ill. I got a bad case of loving you.
Who sings that?
Robert Palmer. Although I forgot who wrote it originally, but yeah, I'm singing it now. You know, I'll take all the emojis I can get. I'm trying to get to the 1%, please. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Unfortunately, I can't react to myself. If I could, I'd be in the top 1%.
I mean, you live in the Upper West Side, so.
Hello, I said doctor, not doctor.
Sorry.
I didn't say doctor, you little maniac, you. You little clergy maniac whose brother pays $40,000 in taxes.
What?
You have 5 brothers, don't you? You have 5 brothers, remember? I mean, Docs is right, baby. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I was paying you a compliment then.
Yeah, I'm paying you a lot of compliments. Okay? I'm gonna dox you, dude. I'm really gonna dox you.
You know, Norm, for the record, I invited Randy a couple times.
Oh my God.
But he never
How many times are you gonna say this? You know, 1 to 2 times.
I just want to witness.
Even a train stops once in a while, David. I mean, the ASPCA called. They got to report someone's beating a dead horse. Please, brother. Oh, that was a good one, Randy.
Lord Chicago, we gotta get a beer in Lakeview, right?
Joe's been awfully quiet. We silenced him. Joe's booking a flight to Iraq right now. He wants some of that 9-year-old. Once you told him about the 9-year-olds, he's like, oh my God. He's on his way there, dude. He's like, 9-year-olds, look at me, here I come.
He's booking a seat on the Lolita Express.
Yeah, baby, I don't blame him, man. You know, it's a good thing
Do you
that
have to
9-year-old
be
is.
a Muslim male to do that? I think you have to be a Muslim male. He's going to have to
Hopefully they're virgins, these 9-year-olds. That's all I want to say.
Hopefully they're female too.
Yeah. I mean,
Is there anything wrong with that?
yeah, if your dad, if the only person who's had sex. It's good to see all you guys, okay? I don't care what you say. I like you guys,
Yeah,
right?
we get it.
Yeah. You know what? You know, the Chicago accent and the Buffalo accent are the same.
No, they're not. Are you
Yes,
nuts?
they are.
Oh my God, you have officially lost it.
I was trying to do a hard Chicago accent.
No.
Buffalo, I know a guy from Buffalo. He sounds just like he's from Chicago. I said, you sound like you're from Chicago. He said, yeah, I do.
You're from Chicago.
Yeah.
I love that they say Chicago. Chicago. It's with the, so they do this with the A, you know, the
It's not pronounced Chicago. It's pronounced.
There's like 3 A's in it. Chicago. Like instead of you guys say tree, or near if they say. It's somebody.
Wait, how do you say the thing on the top of your house?
Roof or roof? not roof.
Roof.
Where did they say roof? I've heard of that once. I was like, what?
Or rough or whatever.
I guess a Mid-East, a Midwest someplace, excuse me.
It depends. Like, there's people that in St. Louis that have southern accents that they claim to be Midwest. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get anywhere.
The weirdest accent I will hear is some of the people from Louisiana. They can actually be hard to understand.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
yeah,
what?
but like,
Joe, do you want to live in Palestine? I hope you're not gay.
What's with the Palestinian flag over there?
I don't know. I hope he's not gay. They throw you off a 10-story building. But wait, there are no 10-story buildings.
Yeah, well.
They didn't pass the building codes.
Yeah.
He's just full of like one-line, insults.
Oh, like he doesn't have an actual game plan on how to do so.
How can you occupy something that's never been a state? That doesn't make any sense.
He probably doesn't even know that Jordan occupied the West Bank before Israel.
Did this guy ever talk, or he didn't?
He was talking. He was just babbling away.
Listen,
Wait, if it was most of the 30 seconds to say something before he's removed.
If it was never a state, then that applies to Jordan as well. I'm sorry.
Let me be clear. Most of the so-called Palestinian Arabs are migrant Arabs who came to the area from other countries because of opportunities created by the Jewish settlements. Israel drained the swamps, turned the deserts into farmland. It wasn't farmland before. So these are people who came the same time as the Jews. If you look at the population growth, the Palestinian Arab population growth basically tracks the Jewish growth. More Jews came, they needed more laborers, more Arabs came for opportunities. It's not like there was some big Palestinian society with a king or
They outnumbered you guys by quite a bit. I mean,
at what point? When did they outnumber?
In the late 1940s.
No, they didn't. That's just you're statistically wrong.
Let me look it up.
You're statistically wrong.
What is the late 1940s? What year are you talking
I'll
about?
say 1947.
Okay, by the way,
Hold on. Stop. What's the claim? What is the claim? What is the claim?
They had to go somewhere.
What is the claim?
850,000 Jews were kicked out of Arab countries. Iraq, Iran, Algeria, Yemen, Syria, they were citizens there forever. They were kicked out. Well, you picked a random time.
How much did they outnumber you guys?
Why don't you go to 1949?
What's the claim?
The Arabs that were living in Palestine and what is today Israel, they grossly outnumbered the Jewish population.
Listen, after every war, there is an exchange of population. Every war, Ukraine, Poland, Germany, Russia. After every war, there are refugees and people leave, and that's in every country: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Why is this one country, the tiniest of all countries?
Did you say 47?
Yeah, 1947.
So I'm going to exclude Jordan because it was carved out in 1946.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, the point being,
after Pakistan was created, millions of people had to leave India. The good news is that they weren't kept in refugee camps forever, and they weren't used as political pawns. They were resettled, like the Arabs should have been resettled in Jordan and Egypt and Lebanon and Syria. Instead, these countries kept them in refugee camps till today in order to
You got a month in
their political pawns. Pepe. You have a lot to learn, Pepe. A lot.
No, I don't. I think.
Well, I just gave you some facts, and I haven't heard you comment on them.
Sure.
850,000 Jews kicked out of Arab countries.
Yeah, that was after 1947.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but the reason I point to 1947 is I don't think there's a population on this planet that if they got an influx of what they see as foreigners, would sit where it would sit well with them. There would naturally be people that would revolt against them, want to war with them,
But they're not
and chase them
I
out.
wouldn't say they your words were grossly. What were your words?
Like
Grossly.
probably grossly outnumbered them. Like
Okay,
2 to
well,
1.
so turn grossly into percentage.
Like 10 to 1, like 90%.
Okay, so you're wrong. It's 66% to 32%. There were 1,250,000 Arabs, and there were 625,000 Jews. So that was 65% to 32%.
Not for nothing. The Arabs were offered their own homeland. The Palestinians were offered a homeland. They said no.
But
Okay.
at that time,
They
that's
were.
how it's going to work. They're
Yeah, because they're murderers.
So wait, do you want to revisit?
We were to get our own homeland.
my land.
Do you concede that your point was a little bit exaggerated?
Yeah, it was a little bit exaggerated. So when did you have a lot of numbers? Did you have a lot of people coming in the early 40s too?
Well, I mean, if only they could have, then 6 million Jews wouldn't have been killed. If only the British had let them in. Instead, they were turned away.
Have you looked up the Etienne conference?
We act like the Holocaust never happened over here.
Yeah, have you looked up the Etienne conference?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Take a look at that.
It's so
Roosevelt
selective.
participated. Yeah,
It's outrage. It's so selective, you know?
Etienne.
What about the fact that
conference.
the Arabs destroyed all the Jewish synagogues and built mosques there? I mean, your outrage is so selective.
What did they do to the nice cathedrals in fucking that are now Turkey?
That you talk to the Turks about that.
I know it.
That's a different room, Pepe. You bring your anger to the Turks, but you don't do that because the Jews are easy picking. It's easy to pick on Jews. A Turk would kick your ass. A Jew will actually engage you in conversation. A Turk would kick your ass and say, "Get the fuck out of here."
No, I beat the shit out of it.
That's true.
In real life.
Yeah. I'll take things that never happened for 1,000.
Okay.
Right?
Alex, wait, was that like a game show reference? Things that don't happen.
Yeah. This guy, okay, he's a Philadelphia lawyer over here.
No, here's the part, and I don't know, maybe it's because.
Well, that's the most honest thing you said. You don't know. So we
Yeah,
can
so
come back.
hold
okay?
on, Randy, calm down.
I'm calm, buddy.
I mean, I don't.
Miss, I am very calm now.
Do you think there's anybody that would be that if they were in the Palestinian situation that would sit well with them? No.
Well, tell me this. There's been you know, this is the only place where terror is tolerated. Do you think American Indians have a right to blow up buildings in New York City? I mean, since their land was taken, do you think they should be doing terror in New York
100 years ago?
Would you justify that? Would you say, yeah, Native Americans have a right to do violence all
Sure,
over
but
New York City?
you're talking about them challenging the Israeli state literally within the same year that it was founded. I mean,
I'm talking about 2023. I'm talking about 80 years later. Would you, we're talking about right now, not then. We're talking about right now. There's still terror.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
Right. So do you think American Indians should be blowing up buildings in New York? Do you think they should? Because their land was stolen, right, Pepe?
There's some of them that feel that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think it's justified? That's my
I
question.
wouldn't say that.
Okay, well there you go. It's called the double standard.
It's not a double standard.
It is. It's not they're not justified, but the Palestinians are. It's a double standard.
No, I think that like I said, I think there's always a real.
Listen, I stumped you. I didn't admit it.
They often have like a real grievance.
This is so annoying. Why are you listening to him?
I don't know why he's here. He likes to bait Jews. He's got a problem. He should be kicked out. He's not tolerant. I don't know why we tolerate him. The Turks
Because
would tolerate him.
I find it quite funny. Tucker asked a question to the other, the guy, I don't know, the idiotic who was in Israel, is the ambassador of Israel. But if you look at the historically of European, Irish have their own language, Welsh have their language, Scottish have their own language. There's no such thing called English. It doesn't make like the European Jewish had Yiddish. So it doesn't make any sense. It was
What about Hebrew, Riri?
yeah, but Yiddish is defined like European. Jewish.
What about Hebrew, though?
She's gonna
The Europeans have Hebrew.
No. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off.
So
You hate French, you're anti-Semitic.
I'm so fucking angry. The Irish piece of shit. I'm pissed off because it was like, oh my god, why are the Jewish? You're Polish. You're fucking Eastern European. No, bitch, shut the fuck up. No, it doesn't make any sense.
What? We don't understand you.
I don't.
All right. All right, guys. Shabbat shalom, everybody. It was good catching up. I'll be around all week. All right. I'm gonna run for now. Take care.
Don't forget to tip your waiter.
That was awesome.
So welcome back, everybody, to Iran War, Israel, Palestine, USA. Absolutely no terrorists allowed, because we know there's a lot of terrorist sympathizers and promoters floating around this app. Pepe, you're not a terrorist, are you?
No. No, Pepe is anti-terrorist. It's like being anti-racist.
Well, I would just say this. Just like how you can look at the Basque, you can look at the, I don't know, the Corsicans, they would do it. You had the IRA. You had people that would assassinate officials, blow shit up, usually aimed at fucking with the federal government.
Or like the mafia.
And so, like, I'm not going to say that, like, I would say that the same feelings any of these groups would have, they obviously are going to have them. And I definitely don't. I think what they did was just like a very disgusting form of terrorism. They just went and terrorized and butchered and kidnapped, innocent people. But I mean, I can't say that it's illogical, but for them to, rebel.
David is a Hebrew Israelite, so is Camille. Just so you know, they think white people are the devil, right, David and Camille?
We are the devil. It's fine.
Who are you? First of all, my name is not David, but you think I'm a Hebrew Israelite? This dude is irrational.
What are you, Dave?
Yeah, man.
What are you, Dave?
So the last room I was in, the Persian people were begging for Israel and the United States to intervene to throw off the shackles of the occupying Iranian genocide regime in Iran. These people do not want to be oppressed by their government. And there's literally a guy from Tehran saying that please come bomb these people so we can finally be free. We don't even like Islam. We're Zoroastrians. We don't like Islam. That's what they said in the last room I was in.
Yeah, I've heard that before too. Most of the younger people are atheists because I don't know, the country's backwards.
Can I tell you when it happened that I didn't identify as a Shia Muslim anymore?
Go ahead.
I was 15 and I was arrested for chewing gum on Ramadan in Iran.
Well, that's understandable. Chewing gum on Ramadan.
Yeah, that's kind of you should be doing that, man.
What flavor was the gum?
Banana, man.
Banana?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You get 9 years for that.
Yeah, that's an enhancement right there. Banana, gum, and banana is like a double effect.
And you're walking and chewing gum at the same time? Oof.
Were you
Yeah, man.
looking at
They
the
would
same
put
time?
handcuffs and then I took another one.
What's that?
They put handcuffs on me, yeah. They were threatening me. They said just spit it out or something. And then I started chewing another one.
How could you if you were handcuffed? Your story.
I was handcuffed in front of me, not to my back.
Okay, which pocket did you have?
That was probably the religious police. They don't know how to lock people up good.
No, it was the regular police.
Which pocket was the gun in?
The left side.
Left side. I see. So you were able. Let me. You were able to get the gun.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, why would anybody make that up?
Well, we got to check the details here.
Okay, we can go through the detail.
So you were walking. You were chewing gum, and it was banana gum. So that's like 3 offenses. And then you reached into your left-hand pocket. Left is bad, by the way, in Iran, as far as I know. They hate the left. And you put another piece in your mouth. Did they hit you with a stick then?
No. Then there were some old guys. They came and they said, "What you were doing is or something. It's a kid and stuff." And then they said if I spit it, they will let me go, and I did. And I went, but I took one extra before I spit it.
Another chew.
No. Like they said, spit it. I took another one. Yeah. Then these old guys came. It was like,
Okay, I'm gonna spit you the goo real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but we have Buttercup, a beautiful little cup of butter, who really is a subject matter expert on the topic. I'm wondering if we can all, encourage Buttercup to come up.
Account for what we have to say. Yeah, I think his government just blocked them.
You think his government sent them down?
He shouldn't even be on club. I mean, I think that's what happened. Yeah, they're censored there.
It is Ramadan.
We also have the beautiful Bima, my favorite begonia, in the house, who is a vocal of Free
Did
Palestine.
somebody send him down or something like that, or did he go?
I didn't. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah, I was.
Lord, you didn't do anything stupid,
Yeah,
did you?
that was me. I'm the king green bean.
In your own room.
Let me show you how it works. I'm gonna show you, Jacob, how it works. So that's called the goo. We're trying to stay focused and concentrate on the Iran war between Israel and the United States of America, with Palestine caught in the crossfire. There's no terrorists still out here in this room. We're trying to draw up those from below who we think could make excellent contributions to the discourse. That could be Buttercup or Bima. It could be other individuals, but we want to give room for everyone to speak, including him and Camille and Love.
All right. Can I make a suggestion? We should all read Prince's room, where they think Turkey and the Arabs are going to carve up Iran after the war, or after a coup, or revolution, or whatever they want to call it. These guys don't know history.
Why do you say why do they think it's Turkey and not Saudi Arabia?
They just said Arabs / Turkey, or Turkey / Arabs.
Turkey has the big army.
Turkey's the only.
Yeah, but they have no forward projection of that army. They have no logistics. They have nothing. They're so far away.
Does that mean that everyone's betting now that the regime will fall if there's a war? Because it sounds like they're saying it's a sure thing.
The longer it goes on, the less likely it is to fall, is sort of my take, but hopefully it will.
But I'm surprised that those guys think it's going to fall. Like, they've been kind of...
The whole thesis of their argument was, if it does, will it balkanize? And
I didn't hear them say if. I heard them say they will.
It was definitely if it falls, will it balkanize? It has the highest potential to balkanize, but it's been integrated since Cyrus the Great for so long. But no, they're never going to do that.
They do seem to have a strong sense of national unity. But there are dissident groups like the Kurds and the Baluchis and the Assyrians who feel oppressed. Never mind the Yazidis. You're supposed to say the Yazidis, and then I'm supposed to say, I told you, never mind the Yazidis.
Yeah.
Still, it's like, I guess it's a little ironic because I didn't expect those guys to be so optimistic about regime change.
They fucking hate it.
people
They like the regime. I'm
fucking
surprised.
hate
Iran?
I'm not convinced that they like the regime.
They don't like
no,
the regime.
No, they don't like the regime. No, not at
The
all.
Jews in America
They
more.
feel like it's like a
They're oppressive. Look, they see, Muslims getting shot in the streets. Whether it's the Israelis or the regime, they don't like it. So
they see a bulwark against the Israelis, though. It's like
but they're also all Sunni. They think they don't have a positive opinion of
Israelis are not shooting people in the street. That's the IRGC, the Iranian genocide.
No, I'm saying whether they perceive, as in Gaza, Israelis are
I'm talking about a
shooting.
pro-Pali room that's optimistic about the regime falling when they've been saying this whole time
It's
that
their
if
it's in
intervention
their
is going to
mind.
fail. Yeah.
It's in their mind that they see.
Well, their fallback position is that there's a new caliphate led by Turkey, which seems pretty ridiculous. Remember, we just was from third. I mean, they've just been taking one loss after the other, so they have fallback position after fallback position, in which somehow they're going to win in the future. Someday, somehow, Israel will fall, the U.S. will fall, and the caliphate will rule once again. It's a little far-fetched. It's a lot far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, Iran has definitely got to go.
It's a coping mechanism. But they see the United States, even though they say, oh, now the world's waking up to Israel's blah, 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 gay pride, blah, blah. But then they see that the world's greatest superpower is formed a indelible partnership with Israel, both militarily and in terms of intelligence and geopolitically, and even economically. And they're like, well, the caliphate's going to come. This is like people who lost the Civil War saying the South will rise again. It's that ridiculous. What they do is they've done this over and over. The more they attack Israel, the more they strengthen the Jewish people's resolve. And the more they make it clear that our defeating them is necessary and justified. So they sow the seeds of their own doom. Israel's never been stronger than it is right now, ever.
Yeah, I mean, America and Israel is like best friends.
They are. They just recently recalibrated our alliances, and they deemed Israel the most capable ally, the best and most capable ally.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said that's a great take. We're besties.
Why isn't Israel part of NATO? What's that?
Then why isn't Israel part of NATO?
I don't know. What does that have to do with the conversation?
I don't know. They were such a capable ally. Yeah, you think.
It's the most capable ally. Do you know what NATO stands for? Any thoughts?
That's the North Atlantic something.
So is Israel in the North Atlantic?
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to be in North Atlantic.
That's the basis of the alliance. It was to oppose Russia in the Soviet Union in Europe.
Isn't Georgia part of NATO?
North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Isn't Georgia part of NATO?
Georgia is allied with Russia.
No, part of South Ossetia is aligned with Russia, but Georgia proper isn't.
Georgia is under de facto Russia. They've become like Russia reestablished its dominance over Georgia.
All right, I'm trying to do the math. You're a mathematician, Yaakov. How many places is this conversation currently being beamed by Lord Kitover's many accounts? Because he has 70 phones.
I don't know. There's too many variables. I have no clue. How many phones? How many channels?
And also, who cares? That's not the subject of the room.
Yeah.
It's a fun math problem because there's so many.
So you can do that you know basic math.
Yaakov.
I do, but this is basic math. You know basic math.
I think it's the number of Kitovers to the power
Let's not go off the topic of the room.
Stop muting me, you fucker.
Don't call me that.
You can call me that, I guess. Anyway,
I prefer you not call me that.
Thank you. Annoying, foul-mouthed child.
Yeah, don't you know we're on CR10? Wasn't it good premise that, like, you know, using a foul language says more about you than it says about me?
I think that's true.
So how many empires do you think lasted more than 300 years?
I don't know. Roman is one. Except you go back.
The Greek, the British, the French, the Spanish.
French didn't. Nope. Sorry for the French one.
Roman Empire is actually distinct from the.
No, the French Empire still exists now. There's French territories outside of mainland.
Dude, Rome got dominated by Christianity. Like, it's crazy.
Did that help?
Well, actually, Rome got dominated by the barbarians, the German army, or Germanic.
Well, the French was like large part is mostly part of Rome, but what do you? I don't get it. What do you mean they got taken over by Christianity? They've been Christian for centuries.
Yeah, it changed their whole structure and kind of ruined everything.
Starting when?
What did it ruin? What do you mean?
Well,
and the reason why I think it's like less than 20. The number. It's a finite set of countries. And
dude, America.
The question is, when we
I
remain.
want to know how this gets ruined.
Because it took away their native religion and their whole foundation of their society was
What's their native religion?
Erased.
Like they're
Hold on. What native religion?
They're pagans.
Their pagan religion, you know. Who is it? Jupiter?
Okay, and so tell me how the pagan religion helps people.
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
peacefully.
King Louis had a priest as part of his council. What do you mean?
Speaking of pagans, where's pagan bread?
I mean, you could talk about how powerful they were and even like advanced at times, like we look at the Greeks and the Romans and how good like some of the warriors were. But I mean, obviously after they became Christian, they became more, I don't know, less barbaric.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't part of the, you know, the papacy, but they had priests. They had as their advisors and as their council. So you can say that the French Empire.
What did the French Empire do to the Christian Catholics in Lebanon and Syria? Nobody cares.
Well, they weren't Catholic.
They made Beirut look really nice. That's what they did. You're welcome.
Yeah, but they were given that area. They didn't, like, you know, conquer it.
They weren't given that area.
Look at the Sykes-Picot Agreement.
They took over after the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, that means they were given it.
Okay, that's fair. Okay,
The British beat the Ottomans, and the Sykes-Picot Agreement said, hey, you get north of this line, we get south of this line.
Fair.
What did the French do that was so bad to the Lebanese?
They turned it into Monte Carlo.
I've never heard.
Move to America. How about that?
Huh?
They turned into the Paris of the Middle East.
You guys didn't flee. The Lebanese didn't flee because of anything the French did.
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
Huh? Also
Yeah.
tough.
When's the last time you were in Beirut?
No, I haven't been. I would like to go one day, but now's not the time.
No, I highly suggest don't.
But I heard that it was absolutely beautiful in the pictures. And
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a shithole now, dude. It's like really deteriorated.
yeah, that's
No, but Lebanon
And,
is not a shithole. It's not.
It is. I don't mean this in a mean way. It's just like everything that was nice, it's torn down. It's very
If
poor.
you're trying to be English, you're trying to be British, you're trying to be Scottish, Welsh, Germany, no. I think, like, my country's from Somaliland. I'm from Somaliland. It's beautiful.
Well, Somalia.
Yeah, that's an improving shithole. That's an improving country.
Yeah, it's not a shithole. It's improving country.
Somalia is a goddamn dump.
No, it's not Somalia. It's Somaliland. Correction. Hello.
Yeah, Somaliland is an improving shithole. Somalia is a complete shithole.
versus the Bronx.
Yeah.
No.
No, both of them are going on a downhill trajectory now.
Oh my goodness.
But we're rooting for Somaliland.
Hey, so check this out. Check this out. So the Roman Empire lasted for 420 years with paganism, and it lasted 80 years with Christianity.
But that was when they had their empire had greatly expanded, and so that was kind of part of their downfall.
You have to also include the Byzantine continuation of it. So it's like 1480 years.
It's a very complicated history.
I mean, didn't Napoleon even say that he recreated the Holy Roman Empire? Wasn't that Napoleon's whole, shtick?
I don't know, but I know that Christianity was created to conquer the world, and it did.
I'm not too sure about that, but yeah.
Well, didn't the apostles conquer the world?
I think it also depended on which colonial powers conquered you. I mean, the Spanish definitely were forceful about it, but like the French, for example, weren't too forceful.
Yeah, but to be fair, when the Spanish, when they came to the New World, they wanted to help the people that were in the New World to be better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
by starving them, and
ask the Iroquois how they thought about their help.
The Spanish were by far the most sadistic of all the European.
I don't think that's not a fair.
No, it is absolutely no. This is even in college. They say the 3 C's.
Everything you learned in college.
Sure. So the French came for commerce. The English came for colonization, and then the Spanish came to conquer. The French also came to. No. Where were the Spanish nice to anybody? They literally took all your fucking resources. If there was ever a famine, anything like that, they ate first. They were just they were nasty people. I don't.
Well, Pepe, is that an opinion or is that a fact, Pepe?
Oh yeah, the Spanish you really did not want to be rolled over by them.
Well,
I respectfully disagree.
What year is it? Can everybody please just give us a quick diagnostic and tell us what year it is?
2026.
5786.
All right, we got 2026. We got 5786. Pepe, Mako, what year is it?
I wasn't listening. What's up?
Yeah, I was asking you, Mako, what year is it?
It's 2026. Why?
It's not the year 1400?
I mean, to be fair, the Spanish, they also slaughtered Europeans that weren't Catholic too. That happened on a number of instances.
Well, the Italians did that as well. So,
where were the Italians in?
Yeah, Italians were in North America. Wow.
No, you're saying about in Europe.
No, I'm talking about here.
Well, what made the Spanish?
Who killed the most people in the New World was the British. With all due respect, the British and the French did the most.
But the French barely had any land in it.
The French and Indian Wars. You know how many people died in those wars? What are you talking about?
I will point out that I've read that the British Empire was able to expand to every part of the globe for one reason and one reason only, because of the mechanization of the rifle and the ability to automate, the discharge of bullets at high scale, high velocity at scale. So, without that ability to say STFU or we're going to give you a Gatling gun, that's real power.
Gatling guns until the Civil War.
Well, you see my point about the ability to deliver a high volume of
a single barrel.
We actually had
Sorry, John.
I think it was called the repeater. I think it was called the repeater rifle. The repeater rifle. I think was the big stage in warfare.
We IPSS, I believe, but I think it had slightly some rifling in the barrel, but it was a little bit more accurate out to a longer distance. So the British
it was more about the war tactics on the ground that gave America the edge over the British and the French and the Spanish.
Well, I'm looking at an interesting historical document. It says the law of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. And that's, a British Kabbalist. Now, Pepe thinks that the Spanish were the most merciless conquistadors. But what was the philosophy of the Spanish conquistadors, Pepe?
They're probably just like they just got done getting rolled over for how many fucking 7 or 8 centuries by a bunch of fucking Muslims.
But I think you're being over negative towards the Spanish Empire.
No, I don't think I am at all.
Well, can you give evidence that you're not?
And they were absolutely the most religiously intolerant.
But there's nothing wrong with being. Well, I mean, the English, with all due respect,
they were a lot worse than the English.
Well, I mean, that's why we had people come to America is to escape.
Yeah, they weren't slaughtering them upon contact.
I mean, okay, but don't say that the British weren't, being.
No, the Spanish were, dude. They were like
negative to people who don't believe
like
in
jihadists.
the king's
They were
religion.
Catholic jihadists, dude. I don't know how else to put it.
They did genocide on the regions. I think California.
So again, I ask you, what year is it? Is it 2026? Is it February 21st on a Saturday? Are you all here right now? Hello?
I like the fact that we've attracted many Anons to the room. They want to know what we're talking about, but they don't want to let us know who they are.
They're all John.
Well, we were talking about the who's worse, the Spanish, the French, or the British Empire?
In the Americas, it was the Spanish, hands down. You can't. There's no denying.
No, I said like more people died under the hands.
The British Empire.
David, why don't you give us? David, why don't you give us?
Actually brought in more slaves than the British.
Well, actually, the British were actually against slavery.
I want to point out that this is a little bit like David arguing whether vodka, gin, or whiskey is better, than the other one. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, we want peace in the Middle East and we want peace in America. But unfortunately, a lot of people want to break the law, and those people are called terrorists or people that need to be brought back into compliance or possibly destroyed. Now, Pepe has walked us through a history hypnosis lesson. Hello? David, what was that?
Is that part of your platform?
Part of my as a writing candidate for Congress. Yes, Dr. David, absolutely. So we have to be strategic in our communication. We have to be strategic in our militarization and what we're going to do with our focus and our concentration, because this room has grown to a very large audience. And you can see there's a lot of Persians in the audience who are very concerned about a possible war. And I just want to say in Farsi, Dilam barat khiritem shade.
Yeah, I think Texas should be its own country, man.
What did you just say? What did John say in Persian?
I said, I missed you. I said, I missed you, my beloved. Dilam barat khiritem shade.
Can we get someone who's confirmed?
So I'm just curious, if we bombed the shit out of Iran and there's no change in leadership, what is actually gained?
Well, I think that's an unlikely hypothetical. I think the change in leadership is part of the whole point.
Yeah.
We've already dropped 2 massive bombs on Iran this year alone. We've already detonated 2 of our largest bombs on their nuclear facilities. We've already done it. We've already crossed the fucking threshold. Hello?
You're talking about the bunker busters.
Yeah, but that's a different thing.
Right. It's my understanding the fear is that, okay, let's say you do take out Khomeini or whatever, that there's going to still some IRGC people to remain in power, and then they're not going to, they'll still have their military that's going to be armed. They'll still shoot a bunch of thousands of people in the street, whatever.
Yeah, but this is what happened in Venezuela once the person...
Yeah, it's not Venezuela.
Well, I'm just telling you.
The government of Venezuela still stands. It's just the president was taken out. The generals are still in command. The vice president...
there isn't, mass hysteria. Yeah.
Pepe, are you asking if this affects the Jews?
Pepe, are you an apologist for the Khomeini?
No, I think it's... I don't like the IRGC, but you have to think people, it's somewhat, I think, the West's fault. The people made hold on.
The people made their
Oh my God.
They're in the streets and they're being killed.
Sorry, dude, can I finish? Holy shit. So, it's kind of the West's fault. We're like, yeah, guys, revolt. You can do this. And then, tens of thousands of them get fucking gunned down, and they're mostly young people. And, it's kind of like, I hope they didn't really do that for nothing. And I want, I want to see, if anything is done in Iran, I would want to see them no longer having to be ruled over by the IRGC. Otherwise, it's all in vain.
Pepe, it doesn't affect the Jews either way.
Pepe is not Jewish.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, this has nothing to do with...
He probably has Jewish ancestors.
No. What is it that you're saying doesn't affect the Jews? Bombing Iran?
Yeah, well, Khomeini being replaced or not.
Well, sure, it affects the Jews.
Well, I mean, when Khomeini says that's Israel,
they're leading. They've hijacked their own country and made it into the big enemy of Israel and surrounded Israel with this ring of fire with the Hezbollah to the north. Wait, haven't finished. Hezbollah, it's not a slogan. They attack Israel. Hezbollah to the north and east, right? With Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hezbollah in Syria until we kicked them out. The Houthis in Yemen. Supplying Hamas. That's not just a slogan. That's an active campaign to exterminate the Jewish homeland, the Jewish state. So of course it affects the Jews. Your reasoning doesn't conform with reality.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, without a gun to the head, if you ask a typical Iranian, what do you think of Israel? They'd be like, I don't care, I just want to live. That's all they care about.
They love Israel.
But it's the head, it's the Ayatollahs that was that's Israel all the time. But the regular Iranian, they don't care about Israel. They just want to live.
Can you just say, instead of saying Khomeini, can you say Khomeini? And instead of Iranian, can you just say it like a normal American?
Why do you want him to mispronounce these words?
Nothing, because he's trying to sound like he speaks Persian, with one word in an English sentence.
Respectful of the
Well, he's faking the funk. It doesn't come out.
Ask him to say Michelin restaurant.
Well, he goes to a lot of Michelin restaurants.
Well, that's how you pronounce
it. Yeah, and 99% of the English-speaking words says, hey, I went to a 3-star Michelin restaurant.
Yaakov, with all due respect, having been to a few Michelin-star restaurants, that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry.
And people look at you like you're nuts.
Yeah, actually, my brother did say that if you tried pronouncing one of the things they say where they actually, it's not so-called being the loud, obnoxious American, but it is the people who try to be fancy, smancy, and act like they're an expert on French culture and say their fucking words and butcher them, and that is I guess more irritating to them.
Okay, I'm not gonna apologize, but my friends who go to these restaurants, we all pronounce it the same way. So I'm used to
if you're hanging out with fine.
Okay, if you come into my group of friends, then
you hang out with douchebags, David.
That's not nice.
I didn't say that, David. Okay, finish with hominy.
And you don't have to respond to anything, David.
Of course not. It's all in fun. We're all friends. David's taking me out to a hockey game at some point.
Wow.
It's a ranged game. We're going to a ranged game.
I don't know. See, David also hung out with Rabbi Dickerson, known as Randy. So, I mean...
Docs.
Yeah. Dude.
But you obviously said it because I don't think Anne has an intelligence network. You self-doxed.
Why, is that because she's a woman that she doesn't have an intelligence?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking. Most people on this app don't have their own personal intelligence service. So I'm just guessing that in one room, David.
Yeah, see, Norm, like.
I do want to point out that everybody always says that they're out there gathering information, and I think everyone here would agree that everyone is out there gathering information. That's typical human behavior. We're all addicted to information, and we love it, and we gather it because it's valuable, and that's where we get the term valuable information.
But that doesn't mean women aren't intelligent.
What is a woman?
Ask Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson.
She's the worst example you could have brought up.
I'll be honest.
Not to be confused with
Women
Jackson
are
Brown.
Women are not.
Not to be confused with Jesse Jackson, God rest his soul.
Hello, any
rest
woman.
his soul.
David's a woman now. No, women are not good drivers, figuratively and literally.
I never said that.
I said that because that's the truth. Like women are good. Some things and men are good.
A woman might be a fool and stupid, but she still could have better intuition than a man.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
And as we know, a fool and their money are soon parted.
Well, who said that? That sounds famous.
That's not famous.
That's cute, dude.
So I want to thank everybody for coming here today to the Iran war, Israel, Palestine, USA, no terrorists allowed. Because in other rooms right now, there are chronic complainers, people that have a beef with the J word, with the I word, with the Z word, with the K word, with all types of words, and they want to argue with you till the moon appears and the sun sets 24 hours a day about what words mean what. And all I can say is none of these people are intelligent because they are not part of any type of meditation, any type of concentration, any type of focus on love or intelligence. All they do is complain. Hello?
And in the words of Lenny Kravitz, let love rule.
Wait, isn't that famous thing?
Okay, I have an answer to a fool and his money are soon parted was most commonly attributed to Thomas Tusser in his 1573 book, 500 Points of Good Husbandry. And the original wording was a fool with an E at the end, F-O-O-L-E, and his money be soon, S-O-O-N-E, at debate, after which sorrow repents him too late. There you go. Oh, kind of old English.
Was he a good guy?
No. Was he a good guy? My friend David, was he a good guy?
What does it mean by repenting too late?
Well, there's people I've been quoting before, and my friend, I remember I was at a dinner party.
Another drink.
No, really quick, I was at a dinner party, and I mentioned like a quote, and my friend told me that the person I was quoting was a bad guy. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
So, it also says the next time you're at a dinner party and someone says, a fool and his money, that quote, it's commonly misquoted to William Shakespeare, but it does not appear in any of his plays or writings. So you can say, that does not appear in any of his plays or writings.
Well, William Shakespeare was kind of not a good guy, so.
What do you mean he was not a good guy?
History,
I want to know how he knew about Denmark and Venice.
Who's an English major, and she told me the whole history of the idea. Well, actually, he wasn't a real person, or maybe he was, but she basically told me the history of William Shakespeare, and kind of like not a good person, you know.
Or do you think he was an amalgam?
Like in 2026, he would have been, Me Too'd. He would have been, not a good guy.
My question: how did he know about Denmark and Venice and all these different far-flung places when he never really left his own city, as far as we know? From just people talking about it?
You can always read in a book.
Oh, you think he went to the downtown library? That's a relatively modern invention.
Hello, everyone. Can I speak? I'm an Iranian person. And I saw the title of this room, and I just came to. Actually, I'm curious to know I consider you guys to be mostly Americans. So I just want to know what's your idea about whether the United States should attack the regime in Iran, or you do not support.
Well, the IRGC has been a problem for many decades, and I think the world agreed long ago that at minimum they should not be allowed to have nuclear weapons, and at maximum they should not be allowed to threaten the rest of the world. And diplomacy has been tried repeatedly without much success, and now we're trying diplomacy by other means, namely war.
As a Sunni Muslim, the U.S. should dismantle Iran.
Well, hopefully they see, all the stuff we're doing in the water, and they say, okay, we give up on a very simple terms. But yeah, I think it's very simple. I was just making a joke, but yeah, like all the what we're doing in the Gulf with bringing all our aircraft carriers and our battleships and shit like that. You would think they would be like, okay, let's make a deal. But I don't know. We'll see.
You said okay, make a deal about what? The nuclear program or what?
Well, yeah, that was there was
ambitions or what?
They went to a negotiation, and America said, like, 100% give up a nuclear program, and they said no, right? Norm, is that what the stipulation that they decided to say no to, right?
Well, there's three asks: nuclear program, terrorism, and slaughtering their own people. And they don't seem to be willing to move on any of those. Ballistic missiles are up there as well.
You would think, so guns to the head, they would say, okay, we won't do Hezbollah, we won't do, the only thing the second point I would think of if I was them would be the nuclear thing, but I mean, I'm assuming that's what the sticking point is now, right? In your opinion.
Yes, it's definitely based on.
What do you say? It's not just about the nuclear program. It's also about ballistic missile. Actually, I, as a Iranian person, know that the nuclear program has covered up for their main deterrence policy, which is the ballistic missile. The main thing is actually the ballistic missile, not the nuclear program, but they never negotiate over it. And the ballistic missile has the power to infiltrate from all the air defense system of Israel and also European countries, just like at the war.
They can have a ballistic missile, but as long as they don't have a nuclear.
I think your initial question was, do you think the United States should
come in and evaporate the IRGC. Wasn't that your question? Hello, Velvet?
And whether you Americans.
Was that your question?
Yes, I answered.
There should be any deals negotiated. I think they crossed the line when they started murdering people, and then they threatened constantly on a daily basis to want to murder Israeli citizens, and as well the president of the United States. They want to murder him, and they want to cause harm to the USA and Israel. I think there is no negotiation. They say that they don't want to make weapons today, tomorrow. I think they don't get too far. That's like negotiating there with a pedophile, David. You know,
What is the resolution?
Death. Sorry.
Just bomb all the.
Because today they're going to say, okay, we agreed. Well, tomorrow they're going to dig a tunnel and build their bombs under the tunnel. You don't change from wanting to murder every Israeli citizen and the United States of America to being a good person. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm actually very happy to hear that because in the mainstream media, I hear a lot that there is people make these comparisons that the United States attacking Afghanistan and Iraq, and they compare it to what will happen in Iran. So there are fundamental conceptual differences between Iranian society and Afghanistan and Iraq. But the point is that's so true. So as an Iranian person from age of 7, I have been trained to chant death to England, death to America, and death to Israel. And despite 47 years of this oppressive regime, Iranian people have never hated America. Actually, we love America and we love Israel. We consider that as opposed to all other Muslim countries in the region. So look at the society of, for instance, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, even Turkey. Unfortunately, they hate America and they hate Israel, but Iranian people don't, because we have the same values. During the past 26 years, from 1999, for 6 times they have been fighting for this regime. For what? For democracy, for freedom of speech, freedom of thinking, equality between men and women, because the Islamic regime is a gender apartheid regime, and separation of religion from power. All the values that the Western countries, including the United States, are meant to defend and hold dear. So the point is, I'm so happy and I'm so relieved that I hear individual voices, although you might not be, represented in the mainstream media, such as CNN or other networks. But I'm so happy that I hear that not only you see the real fact that there is nothing you can change about the dissolve. Destroy you or not, they negotiate them or not. They consider Israel to be little Satan and the United States as great Satan. That's what they teach us. But I'm so happy to hear first that. And second, when I hear that let me see what is your name, Blessed. When I hear that Blessed was saying that they slaughtered their own people, that gives me such a, you have no idea how relieved I am that you also care about, Iranian freedom-loving fighters that have been fighting with their bare hands with this regime for so long. And the fact that you're concerned about the massacre that this regime has made. And again, let me remind you, this was not their first time. This was their 6th time. I mean, just look at 2022 during the Women Life Freedom Movement. They literally blinded. I'm not making the numbers. Just look at the United Nations Associated Statistics. More than 500 protesters during the 2022 movement, Women Life Freedom Movement, got blinded. They did comparison. So, for instance, 2 people in Minnesota. I'm not going to downplay what happened in Minnesota. I know it is triggering. Even every single person counts, and every single casualty, even if it is one individual, it's a lot. But when you're speaking about tens of thousands of people being massacred by this regime, you cannot make that comparison. Or the fact that just during 2022, man, look at the United Nations substantiating statistic. You should start to care about the human rights abuses by this regime. And by the way, those people who got blinded and got killed by this regime were not people who were fighting for Islamism, extremism, terrorism, all those things. We happen to have the same values as you. So yes, we should care about our safety and our human rights, because at the end of the day, we will be your biggest ally in that region alongside Israel. Just as that was the case under Shah regime, under Shah reign. Iran was, even if you might not know that, but as a Iranian person, I know that 47 years ago, up to 47 years ago, Israel was not your biggest ally in the region. Iran was, right? But after the Islamic Revolution, you had to, turn to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, countries that are literally funding terrorism, Israeli terrorism. But Iranian people are not, majority of them are not Muslims, and we don't hate you. So yeah, I'm so relieved that I hear those remarks. Thank you.
Well, those are some beautiful remarks about some beautiful remarks. Thank you for those beautiful remarks. Well, we have so many auspicious and interesting people in the audience. Oh, our good friend Stanley Roper is here, straight out of Yerushalayim. Still hasn't paid his brother back the money he owes him, but Rabbono Shalom Hashem is going to make it all come, because it's almost Shavua Tov. Rabbono Shalom. And let me ask you a question. Would you marry a wealthy, handsome Jew if he proposed to you and you two fell in love?
Who's that directed to?
Oh, I was asking Anne, our Lebanese Catholic, I suppose. Yeah, you're Catholic. Did you do Ash Wednesday, Anne? Did you get the crucifix and ash put on your forehead?
You shouldn't ask that question.
Did you get the ashes put on your forehead, David?
I'm not going to ask that question.
I didn't.
Well, everybody, you're in the Iran war. This is the Israel-Palestine-USA conflict, but no terrorists allowed room. If you want to hear terrorists, just go to Amir's room in the World Affairs Forum or in Amir's house, or you can go to Prince's room. There's a whole litany of rooms you can find, I'm sure. But in this room, no. No terrorists allowed.
What's up, normal? Hey, what's up? So what's the word out there? What's going to be with Trump? Last night I heard he's allowing the random thefts and classified. Oh, I didn't hear that. He wants to let them save face? Huh? He wants to let them save face? What's going on?
I mean, he's giving him a couple days to decide, right? My understanding. I mean, it's better than what Obama did, which is give him a bunch of money. I mean, that's.
Did he give them money, or did they return the money that was frozen?
Well, I mean, unfreezing money is the same as giving money. I forget how many billions.
Yes, and Obama lifted up the sanctions, and that's what they did. They made deals with that regime, with our operators. And again, just so you know, the same kind of protests were happening in Iran in 2009. We call them green movement, in Persian, malicious people for not. If you several months, we're on the streets, and actually we chanted at the Pacific slogan. In Persian, we said Obama, Obama, Obama. It meant Obama, Obama, either with us or with the Islamic regime, or with them, right? The point is, Obama chose to turn a blind eye by us and our oppression. Yes, he issued a couple of empty-worded statements that we stand with Iranian people, and they should have the right to peacefully protest. But those statements, empty-worded statements, mean nothing. They don't help us. We need real action. We need real action because we're empty-handed. So Obama made deal with it and lifted up the sanctions, and the regime simply massacred Iranians, and not just in the streets, but also in the prisons. Specifically, a horrific prison that you might have not heard about it. It's named with khakis that they torture people in khakis during the removal of people. But that's what Obama did. So yeah. But hopefully the United States will not do this again. Because at the end of the day, Donald Trump made a promise. They said to Iranians that go and take your institutions, we will come to your rescue. And in another remark, he said, if Iran shoots the protesters, as they always do, we will start shooting as well. He made those remarks, and yesterday, Donald Trump already acknowledged that 32,000 Iranians over a short period of time during this random protest were massacred by this regime. So he has made a promise, and he has the responsibility. But even if he didn't make that promise, still we would have considered United States as the leader of the free world to come to our rescue, because with power comes responsibility. Because at the end of the day, first of all, we are all human beings. So if you see someone that is fighting for the values that you also share, democracy, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, all those values that a progressive society of Iranians stand for, you should help them. Right? But even if you don't want to, you don't care about other people around the world, you just care about the United States, still you should be wise enough just to understand that this regime wants to destroy your country. Not just this regime, by the way, not just this regime, Islam itself, and political Islam specifically.
Velvet, you need to feel good about something. We're 3 branches of government, and our other branch of government, especially our Senate, has been steadfast in trying to support the people in Iran and to end this regime. And you need to look at the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. You need to look at the leadership there, the statements that they've been making. This is not only from the executive branch, but on our congressional level as well, and that's really important. Also, with respect to the funding, look at our House appropriations on military as well. I mean, it's people seem to forget we have that other branch of government that also put the squeeze and amplified the sanctions, and although had to fight the Obama administration tooth and nail on this, was able through these strong leaders within Senate and House to squeeze that regime. So don't forget about that aspect of U.S.